from Solomon. Oh my, yeah, look at this. I'm going to bring up the KDOT camera from Solomon on I-70 and show you this. Bring it around here. And again, we have, all right. There we go. All right, there we go. Get this on here. All right, be the first thing I have up here. All right, so the CanDrive camera at Solomon, and you see how heavy the rain is with this. There we go. So you can barely see with this. So if you were trying to get a picture of the storm or just curious and you're out just kind of checking it out, you're not going to be able to see this thing because it is wrapped in rain. Really, that's almost the definition of being a rain-wrapped tornado. I'm going to take a couple of other graphics out of my show here just so I can make sure we're talking about the most important stuff. So we're kind of bobbing and weaving on the fly here. So again, around Solomon is where the rotation would be right now, getting very close to I-70 is where the most dangerous part of the storm is going to be at this point. So that tornado warning is for Dickinson County. If you're in Gary County and Clay County, you have to start thinking about this one because it's coming your way shortly. Gary County, if it makes more of a kind of a right turn, is a possibility. As I watch Concordia here, you still have a dew point in the low 60s with southeast winds. The dry line hasn't moved through you yet, and you're likely to see more storms and even severe storms possible with that. So there's a second line of storms developing west of Concordia. I don't know if it'll be strong as a first line, but certainly it still could be. So Dickinson County, you have to take shelter right now. If you're in Abilene, Solomon, Chapman, you are just really on the east edge of this, where the most likely area of the tornado would be if it in fact touched down. So if you're in Chapman, I don't want to tell Chapman everything's okay unless it definitely is, but you're on the east edge of this warning, and from what I see, that rotation is moving north of Chapman, but winds to 70 miles per hour, certainly probably going to make it into Chapman in a few minutes here. So checking out the velocity again here, there's a rotation coming across Solomon just a few moments ago, and probably going just north of Abilene, close to I-70. So next in line is going to be areas like Wakefield. We will likely have a warning for this as it gets up into Clay County. I would expect to see a warning with that. The town of Riley, Clay Center, you have to watch this as well, as it looks like it's coming from southwest and northeast, and around Clay County. There's even more spin showing up embedded in the line of storms there near Clay Center at this point. So we could have multiple tornado warnings here in a minute. That's a real possibility. I'm going to check the reflectivity again there near Clay Center. So what we would have there, if that was to go, we would have a tornado embedded in here, and then this one kind of in this bend. It's the north end of a bowing segment that's in place right there near Abilene and close to Solomon. So that goes till 7:15. And most likely, let's see. All right, they're mentioning 70 mile per hour winds near Oak Hill with that northern storm I mentioned. Okay, so this, when they update it in a minute, they'll probably crop a big part of the southwest part of that warning off. But down to the south, there are more storms, and this is the activity that still could produce tornadoes down here as well. This stuff that's getting into McPherson County, and any of this still has potential to produce tornadoes as well. So the storm near Abilene and near Solomon in Dickinson County, right along I-70, we have this kind of bend here. It's the north edge of this bow segment right there. That's where we have the highest potential for this thing to produce a tornado right now, and that's where the Doppler radar indicated tornado is considered to be at this time. I'm going to start the segment over there so I can see the heavy rain there on I-70. That's the Solomon exit, again from KDOT, from candrive.org is where we get these. You can see the rain's not as heavy as it was a few minutes ago there at the Solomon exit. There's the Abilene exit on I-70. You're looking east in this shot. So from looking east, the rotation will be kind of to the left of this, and Chapman, things are still calm there at this point, but likely to see the heavy storm with severe winds of 70 miles per hour close to it getting in there in just a few minutes.
It's so like they issued a severe thunderstorm warning instead of a tornado warning for the portions like Clay, Dickinson, Gary, Marshall, Ottawa, Riley, and Washington.
Out ahead of it? Okay, yeah. Good. Okay, so they're issuing a severe storm warning out ahead of this. Let's see what they've got. And they're saying 655 storms located along the line from near Palmer to Niles, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So they're issuing a severe storm warning for a big part of that storm just to the north of this thing that's rotating near Abilene at this point.
Now they're issuing a new one for almost the same counties for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and half-dollar size hail.
A warning, a severe storm warning?
Yeah.
Just ahead of it, right?
Right. There's two separate warnings for those two counties.
Okay.
So it's now going to look like a mess with all the severe thunderstorm warnings on the map.
That is a mess. All right. So if you're in something that's got the purple polygon around it right now, you have winds to 70 miles per hour possible. If you are in this white polygon, that is the only area considered to be in a tornado warning at this time. Sometimes when it gets this kind of confusing, you have to just simplify it a bit. So that's what I say is anything here that's getting to the east edge of Marshall County, close to Marysville, this has up to 70 mile per hour winds. Clay Center, 70 mile per hour winds likely around Clay Center really right now with that. And then down to the Oak Hill area, I saw some spin in that storm near you. And I'm not saying it's going to produce a tornado, but I can say that it had enough rotation to get me concerned. And then down to the south, the rotation that we have a tornado warning with is what's in Dickinson County that just crossed over I-70 and is getting into the northeast part of Dickinson County shortly. So near Clay Center, this is where you have 70 mile per hour winds, very likely with this, getting across Highway 15 and Highway 24 is where the strongest of the winds are located there. And this part of the storm, I don't see the rotation as strong as I did for a moment ago with that storm. So it's still 70 mile per hour winds, so that's dangerous enough. The rotation we were watching with tornado warning is this, just coming across the Solomon area, just north of Abilene, maybe 3 miles, moving northeast. And again, that is a tornado warning. It goes till 7:15 p.m. For Doppler radar indicated rotation. So that's another 17 minutes is how long this goes. And you'll notice this tornado warning is completely circled with severe storm warnings that are all around it. So right there, tornado warning, the location of that, staying in the polygon very well at this time. So you're looking at areas along Highway 18, just north of Abilene. That's where you need to take shelter. Right here is the rotation on that. And this is not a classic supercell look, but there's a lot of energy in the atmosphere that can make that touch down at any time. So intersection of Highway 15 and Highway 18, that's where I'd be most concerned about this touching down. I'm going to zoom back out on this. I want to see what sort of a forward motion they mentioned on this when they issued it. So the tornado warning.
It's like 45 miles per hour.
45 miles per hour. Okay, so another one of these fast ones that's moving very quickly. So we'll zoom it out some more. When I take it out that fast, you have to have a really big cone on these. So we'll give you some time arrivals on this. It moves northward. Clay County is where that would be going as it continues off to the northeast to roughly 45 miles per hour. So there's the cone track right here. We're going to take it from this spot just north of Abilene near Highway 15 and moving to the northeast at 45. You're going to have areas like Moonlight, Industry, Wakefield affected by this by 726, Milford 728, town of Riley at 740. And if it goes a little farther to the north, instead of going northeast, maybe more north, we're looking at affecting Clifton and Clyde, areas that already were hit by a strong storm earlier, but probably it's going to be somewhere kind of in between there with northeast track most likely. So here's like Wakefield, Clay Center. You've got to watch this storm very closely, as it certainly could cause troubles for you there in the next few minutes. Down to the south, just for curiosity's sake, I do see the first touchdown of a tornado from one of these nasty ones that are in Oklahoma. So I won't dwell on this, but just showing you one of these really nasty cells that have gotten going from the outbreak that's expected today. Look at this hook on this thing. You know, there's no doubt that thing's producing extreme damage. That's a very well formed tornado with this thing. And again, I won't dwell on this more than about 10 seconds here, but that's what you're looking at for these long track, really nasty tornadoes. And that's the risk area that they had out from Oklahoma City up to Wichita. So we are just on the north edge of that, and we're watching rotation move into here. That's going to be into parts of Clay County shortly. Right now that spin is just north of Abilene, the northern part of Dickinson County, and again we're looking at this spin right here. It's a persistent rotation coming across Solomon, just the east of Manchester, heading toward Moonlight and Wakefield with that. So Chapman, I mentioned to you a few minutes ago, I no longer see that rotation is going toward Chapman at all. I see that the spin for that almost sure to stay north of Chapman, but you are going to see strong straight line winds there in Chapman and right along I-70 from Abilene over to the Chapman area. So you are very likely to see some wind damage out of this. I'll bring up another KDOT camera here. If Abilene doesn't look that impressive right now on the camera, so I won't do that. New warning coming out for a big old area, and that's going to be for Gary County, Morris County, Dickinson County. All three are in this new severe thunderstorm warning right there. And we'll see what the Weather Service has to say about this one. And they are issuing a severe thunderstorm warning there, and they are mentioning, I'll see the text in this one. That's going to be,
I haven't seen it yet in chat. I don't know if
it's still coming in. Sometimes it makes it to our system before it makes it onto the chat. Okay, so severe storm warning over here. It's going to include areas like Junction City, but it's going to take a few minutes before it gets into town. We also have Manhattan is not that far from this, but right now you're not included in this warning. This is strong straight line winds what they're looking at here.
And it's moving northeast at 55 miles per hour.
Okay, so putting back in the velocity here, you'll see strong winds making the way, this area bright blue here, heading toward Chapman and Woodbine, New Bern. That could affect Junction City in the next half hour or so. And those areas of blue in there, we're going to have some higher wind velocities in this Weather Service. I believe they're saying 70-mile-per-hour winds on that as well. And Dickinson, Gary, Morris.
Yeah, that'll be for 60-mile-per-hour wind, guys.
60. From Talmadge to Enterprise, moving 55 miles per hour. So the whole storm is moving 55 miles per hour, and the winds they're looking at in there at approximately 60. So let's go back in there. I'm going to stop this and see how fast the winds are moving in this. And some of the particles, they're a little farther downstream, I guess. The darker blues are indicated there near Holland is going to be a big number, probably something north of 70 miles per hour, right about there. Let's see what we get from this when we do the data. And 85. So 85 mile per hour winds is what it's showing in here. That's a few miles away from the radar, so you're looking a little higher up in the atmosphere. But once you have particles moving 85 miles per hour in the storm itself, then you have the possibility that it can translate down to the ground. The rotational part of this is right up here now and doesn't look to be as pronounced as it was a few minutes ago. I'll put this back into motion. And again, that storm, your rotation coming right past Solomon, Abilene is right there now. So the National Weather Service will see if they continue that tornado warning. I think it might be an out of the box.
They've actually canceled the Dickinson County warning.
They canceled Dickinson County?
Yeah.
Okay, so if they've canceled Dickinson County now, and it was going to go until 7:15, I'm going to hit the now version of this.
No tornado warnings.
The rotation on that,
Kansas.
crossing Highway 18 right now, and it's not as strong as it was a few minutes ago. Again, Doug mentioning they're going to let the tornado warning go on that. It's moving into the south central part and southeast part of Clay County. So we're going to go back onto CBS programming here, be optimistic that we won't have storms, because there are a lot of finales tonight on for a lot of shows, and I get that. So we are going to give you a quick update of what's going on. Bridge, mass control, we're going to discontinue the wall-to-wall here, but I strongly expect we'll be back on in a few minutes with this. And we're going to live stream, continue to live stream on WIBW.com and on Facebook and YouTube. So keep those streams going, Isaac, please. Marysville, you're kind of right ahead of this, but strong winds, 60 miles per hour to 70 miles per hour from Clay Center, heading up to the areas like Randolph and Riley. If you're in Manhattan, you're not in a warning yet, but in the next probably 45 minutes or less, you will likely have a warning issued in Manhattan. The strongest part of the storms I see right here is this bow segment right here across the eastern part of Dickinson County, moving toward Fort Riley, maybe the northwest part of Morris County. And again, we have no active tornado warnings in northeast Kansas right now. So Bridge, I want to go ahead and send folks back over to 13.1, send them back to WIBW programming. We'll continue the live stream on WIBW.com and on social media. We'll come back on soon with updates, and if we have a tornado warning, we'll of course go on with that right away. Areas like Topeka, Holton, Emporia could be close to 9 or even 10 o'clock before the severe storms get over here. And this is not it. There'll be more storms forming right along just ahead of this line. I expect to see a lot of warnings tonight, and we will have updates for you right here on TV, as well as our social media channels and WIBW.com as well. So right now, send them back to 13.1, WIBW TV. We'll keep the crawl going. Stay with us, keep you safe and informed. All right, thank you. Okay, you hear me good? Will you send Isaac in? Daniel, can you grab Isaac for me?
Yep.
Thank you. All right, so what we've got right now, is the mic on? Can you hear me, guys? Bridge? Okay, I don't hear me very well, so all right, that's fine. All right, so what we're doing is Isaac. Yeah. We could have a tornado warning at any time. So just keep the live feed going on YouTube and Facebook. Are you setting up push notifications to let people know what's going on? Okay. Again, there's nothing going on right now. I expect to see more stuff popping up. So just be ready, okay? All right, thank you. All right, so what we have is there are no tornado warnings in the WIBW viewing area. So for us to continue to go wall to wall here for winds that are 60 miles per hour, is what the Weather Service has on these. If we did wall to wall coverage every time we had 60 mile per hour winds, I think we would have people coming to the station to ask ask for them to find somebody else to do this. So that's why we're live streaming on WIBW.com, Facebook, YouTube. We have the streams going there as well, so you can get the information. We have the crawl going at the bottom of the screen as well. So right now, these two areas of warnings are for 60 mile per hour winds and hail the size of a $50. That's what I've got. That is not a high-end warning. So as long as that's the case, we can handle this with a live stream like this and let you know that way and break in on commercial breaks and that kind of stuff. But when we get something spinning up again, we will certainly go back on TV long form and talk for hours on end and eat up the TV signal from the main signal at 13.1. We don't mind doing that at all when we have to, but again, we have to be careful about overdoing it on a 13.1. We have about 400,000 people in the WIBW viewing area, and we are not just a weather channel, of course. I do want to show you the stuff to the south. This is just super nasty down here. This is a confirmed tornado in Oklahoma, and again, as I'm live streaming here, and because we don't have any tornado warnings in northeast Kansas, I can go down and visit this and just kind of show you what's up with some of the most dangerous part of this. That is a confirmed tornado, and if you had never seen a radar before, if this is your first time going over to velocity mode, I could probably train you in about 30 seconds to analyze which part of this would be a tornado. So there's a confirmed tornado with that heading toward Hennessy in Oklahoma, and just for my own curiosity, and I can't bring up some of these live feeds down there. We don't have the legal rights to do that. If I was paying storm chasers to go all over Oklahoma, the budget would be just out of control. So we're not sending storm chasers to Oklahoma and doing that kind of thing. But there are Oklahoma TV stations that are covering that. They have helicopters and all kinds of fancy stuff, and they cover it like it's an NFL football game or something. They really go all out down there with tornado coverage. So up here what we have is a severe thunderstorm warning that continues for a couple of different areas. And I'm going to show you the computer models and show you why we have more stuff most likely filling in during the evening. So right here near hey, Bridge, I want to know if it's a national break coming up I can eat up, okay? A national, is that one I can eat up? Is there one coming at some point? I don't eat a local. I would eat a national, but I don't want to eat a local right now. Not for 60 mile per hour winds. If it gets worse, I'll change that. But let me know if you know of a national that's coming up. Or sometimes you don't know when the nationals are coming up, right? So just watch for it, and when you have it, you can give me 3, 2, 1, or just say we're going right now, and I'll try to keep it less than a minute. Make sense? It's usually 2 minutes long, right? Okay, so that's what we do. You see a national break, you holler at me, go, and set me a 1 minute clock that's ready to go, and I'll beat that. Okay? All right, that's a good negotiation we can do and not make anybody mad, hopefully. All right, so here's what we've got right there in Clay County. This is severe thunderstorm warning, and this is still for winds to 60 miles per hour and hail about the size of a quarter. So that's why we're not doing wall-to-wall TV right now. Barnes is in the path of this. Clay Center getting strong winds right now. Leonardville right on the edge of this. And that storm no longer has rotation like it did earlier. Actually, the rotating part of that looks like it's moving into Nebraska shortly here. The storm's moving 50 miles per hour in some cases, so it doesn't take them very long to move on down the road once they're moving highway speeds. So we get into Junction City and Fort Riley here. If you are at Fort Riley, a lot of people at Fort Riley are from all over the nation and all over the world in some cases. So you may have never dealt with tornado warnings before. So if you're in Fort Riley, this is not a tornado warning for you. It's very strong winds, 70 miles per hour possible with this, hail the size of a $50 possible with this, and it's observed. So we have a report that this thing has been producing winds that are strong enough to keep this warning going. So observed means a trained spotter has confirmed this to the National Weather Service. So we have winds close to 70 miles per hour getting close to Chapman at this time, and that's going to move right across the southwest part of Gary County up toward Junction City, Fort Riley, and probably over toward areas like Riley and Randolph as well. Maybe getting over to Manhattan, I'm not sure. There's not a tornado warning with this.
No
right
tornado
now,
warnings in Kansas right now.
Okay, I'm looking at a map that still has it. Watching it, that Severe Studios map is what I'm watching on the side here, and their map still shows the tornado warning, which, oh, it goes till 7:15. It just got canceled early. I got you. Okay. All right. They're continuing the warning for Dickinson, Gary, Morris. They say 70-mile-per-hour winds are possible. 7:09 p.m., located near Moonlight to 3 miles southeast of Chapman is where it's located now. And I'll bet if I go to the live camera from Can Drive in Chapman now, it'll probably look nasty. So let's go check it out, and I can see that now. So again, if you're in Junction City and Fort Riley, you can expect to see strong winds moving in shortly. This is I-70, Chapman exit 286, looking west-southwest. And again, that's from candrive.org. If you want to check out these cameras, they're all over the state. I look at stuff in Goodland and all the way out there. They're all over the state, though. Okay, so we're going to do national break. Go ahead. All right, watching severe weather right now around Chapman. This is winds to 70 miles per hour possible there, and we're expecting to see widespread winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour through the evening. Still tornado watch going until 11 o'clock tonight. Areas around Emporia still very warm and humid. We have 9 miles of visibility. Here are the severe storm warnings. This one for Gary, Morris, and Dickinson County going until 7:30. 70-mile-per-hour winds are approaching Junction City and Fort Riley. If you're in Fort Riley, this is not a tornado situation. It's very strong winds, so stay inside as that moves by. Clay Center strong winds moving up toward Randolph, Riley, the southwest part of Marshall County in that severe storm warning as well. So we do not have any tornado warnings in place in northeast Kansas right now, but we are still expecting to see these storms likely rotating through the evening and could see tornado warnings issued with anything along this line or storms moving our way from south central Kansas and north central Oklahoma. We have a continuous feed of live stream of weather coverage going on WIBW.com, Facebook, and YouTube. Join us there. If we do have a tornado warning, we'll break in a program right here immediately. But for now, back to CBS programming. Thank you, Bridge. Okay, so let's go back again. You saw how we did that there. I did a break-in on TV, kind of quickly, but letting people know, if they're watching their TV programs that we are still paying attention, and if something happens that's, higher end, we'll get on there. But a quick break-in for 70-mile-per-hour winds is really about what you need to do in Kansas. Or, as I mentioned, you eat up so much CBS programming, we turn into just an all-weather channel. So the Chapman exit, very windy. Winds are gusting to close to 70 miles per hour there. I saw this Concordia camera in my feed here because I expect to see storms arriving there shortly. I have Emporia in my feed here as well because I expect to see storms coming in here from the west and southwest that could be rough in a couple of hours. So I'm kind of setting up in advance for what I expect to have happen later as the evening goes on. So to the south, I'm watching areas along the Oklahoma and Kansas state line, and the storm just passed by Wichita is not super strong at this point. That area, computer models are showing that the potential for tornadoes is extremely high right there. Just east of Wichita, over to Emporia is an area that, just looking at the computer models, you'd say, oh my gosh, that's got to pop something up. It doesn't mean it will. Sometimes computer models don't catch it, but even though it's a little bitty storm just north of Wichita right here, I'm watching all these things very close to just see if they start to blow up. If they do, they'll become particularly dangerous. Now to the south in Oklahoma, we have several tornado warnings that are in place right now. It's the same environment. The difference down here that makes it different is it's actually warmer. Temperatures made it deeper in the 80s in many spots down here in Oklahoma. So we have at least one confirmed tornado on the ground right there. And that's the kind of thing that, from looking at the radar, that's going to be a big tornado, almost sure. Let me see if they have, they're not calling it catastrophic or large from what I see there on the data. But maybe I can get it. Maybe I can read it to you and see what it says. Near Hennessy, Oklahoma, I'm going to see what this says off screen here and just how rough they're saying this thing is to us. All right, I'm going to read the data on this just out of curiosity. So damaging hail, tennis ball size hail and damaging tornado. Broadcast media sees it. I'm not saying that it's big. They're just saying confirmed tornado. So, but that signature there you're seeing on there's just an obvious tornado from the radar there near Highway 81. Again, this is in Oklahoma, so it's not a problem for you unless you're watching me in Oklahoma. And even looking closer, it looks like a multi-vortex tornado, even from just looking on the radar. So that's a really nasty tornado. At this point, the Weather Service not saying that it's super large or any of those kind of high-end statements, but it's confirmed as a tornado. And from me looking at it on the radar, that looks like a particularly bad one at this time. So again, the TV stations down in Oklahoma cover the heck out of these things with helicopters and multiple storm chase teams and all kinds of stuff. So if you want to check them out, then certainly that's available right now. Really interesting to me is at this point, I'm going to zoom back out and show you the rest of the state. So if I can get it out there we go. So Wichita, K-Witch is our sister station in Wichita. And for K-Witch, they still have the high risk of tornadoes and severe weather through the day. So for them, this has been a high-risk day, and we don't have any severe storm warnings even going in the Wichita TV market. So K-Witch, our sister station there, we're part of Gray TV. They cover from Wichita through Dodge City all the way to Goodland. So there's just a huge region to cover tornadoes, especially this time of the year. And the area that was in the high risk in much of Kansas does not have a severe thunderstorm warning at all at this point in that area. So looking through the evening, Supercast still showing line of storms, likely severe at times. Marysville to Council Grove. We'll have new computer data coming in about 8:30. So we'll see if this continues to fill in this aggressively. If it doesn't look so impressive, then we'll say, okay, it's less of a big deal. But towards sunset, we get something called a low-level jet stream this time of the year that tends to make these things set off. We've seen storms a lot of times hang on until after the sun goes down, then go wild. So please don't think this thing is done with just yet.
The risk will still exist as long as I'm here.
If Doug Myers come in at 2:30 a.m., right? You come at 2:30? What time do you come in?
2:45.
Yeah, Doug is prompt. He is organized. If he says 2:45, he means 2:45. If he's still here at 7:18 at night, that means he's convinced that something still could happen. So if I see him trailing out of here at 6 o'clock, I know that this is falling off. But if Doug's still at 7:18, then he's that confident something's up. So he's got to be up again tomorrow morning that early as well. So thank you, Doug, for staying in. I appreciate it. But if he's here, that means something's up. If you see me here in the morning, it means it's really bad. But I'll probably drag my kids in with me, which has happened before, obviously, as well. So
we got a new severe thunderstorm warning for Clay, Gary, Marshall, Morris, Pottawatomie, Riley, Wabaunsee, and Washington County.
So
for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts.
Okay, so as Doug mentioned, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning. 75, is that what we said? 75 mile per hour?
70.
75
goes until 7:45 though.
Okay, so 70 mile per hour wind gusts possible with this new warning, and so we don't have tornado warnings in the area at this point. We still could. So there's the big area in a severe storm warning. Hey, Bridge, same thing. If you see another national break, please let me know. Put me on, okay? Thank you. All right, there's a new warning that Doug has just mentioned, and it's for winds up to 70 miles per hour. These tags over here, and you can read along with the warning and see what it is. Hear me talking about it, but you can also just read for yourself and see what's this guy got up there. So there it is. You have 7:45 expiration time. Hail is 1 inch diameter. Wind speed 70 miles per hour. And it's also good to know, is it radar indicated or is it a spotter confirmed? You can have a spotter confirmed tornado. You can have radar indicated, a radar confirmed tornado if we see debris on radar. So you can read a lot of the data over here on the side as to what's going on. So this new warning going until 7:45, as Doug mentioned, includes Gary, Marshall, Pottawatomie, and Riley counties. And that's a severe thunderstorm warning for a very well-organized line of storm. So Oldsburg, Randolph, Manhattan is in this now. So if you're in Manhattan and you know weather radio is going off, it's for this. If you're in Junction City or Fort Riley and your weather radio is going off, it's for the same thing. Over to Randolph, Riley, you're in this. Right over into the western edge of Wabaunsee County. So if you're in Wabaunsee County, it's only a very small part of Wabaunsee County that's actually in this. And so it might confuse you if you're around Eskridge right now or Maple Hill and you're hearing your weather radio go off. The weather radios go off for the whole county, so it's just this sliver over here. It's not at Alma or Alta Vista or Volans. None of you guys are in it. It's just the western extreme of Wabaunsee County. And again, it's 70-mile-per-hour winds considered to be radar indicated at this time, and moving northeast, probably 50 miles per hour, like the rest of these have been. Let me see if I can get the text on that. Severe storm warning, yep, there it is. So they're going to say it's moving northeast at 50 miles per hour is the current motion on this, and 70-mile-per-hour winds are possible. And all right, just seeing if any texts are coming in here of any sort. All right, kids are okay, good to know that. And Mike Shrewis is still storm chasing, and he's out there in this as well. All right, so we check out the radar here closer and see where we have the stronger winds are moving on this. So around Junction City and Fort Riley, that's where we have the strongest part of this at this time, right there from Clay Center down to Junction City. I'm going to check out the velocity on this and see how it looks. And it's going to be strong straight line winds moving to the northeast. See if any embedded rotations there. It looks like there might have been a little one, but not enough to be more worrisome than just the overall line there. That's winds that are likely 70 miles per hour close to it. So Milford to Junction City and Fort Riley, you're about to get into the worst of this at this point. It's not a tornado threat from what I see on the radar. The National Weather Service is not issuing a tornado warning on this. We're just kind of leaning forward just in case something like that was to happen, and likely to have more warnings issued through the evening, certainly. So back onto cameras here, I'm going to check out the view from the Flint Hills Discovery Center in Manhattan. That's going to be a good look at this as it comes in from the west toward Manhattan. And again, it's not a tornado situation. And we're expecting to get a new camera in Manhattan shortly. I'm always excited about weather cameras. I'm sure you know that. So let's check out how it looks from Manhattan from the Flint Hills Discovery Center. Looking to the west across town now. So there we go. This is Manhattan from the Flint Hills Discovery Center, looking off toward the west into this severe storm that will arrive here in the next few minutes. So again, it's not a tornado threat. We'll be watching as it comes into town just in case it were to get any worse. But that's how it looks now from the kind of the southeast side of town. Here in the next few weeks, we're going to get a new camera on the kind of the north side of town that's in a high perch as well. And it's going to be a very high quality one as well. And we'll be able to have a really good look at Manhattan with the new cameras that we're getting there. So I'm excited about that. But for now, we have that look and a strong straight line winds moving toward Manhattan, Ogden, Fort Riley in this. There's a view from Wamego. You are okay in Wamego right now. You are just outside of the severe thunderstorm warning. You'll probably have one issued in a few minutes in Wamego. Of course, Boomtown coming up in a couple of months. I'll be excited to go over and check that out again. It's always fun. But again, the warnings right now are for winds to 70 miles per hour, the possibility, and hail the size of quarters and even $half in a few spots. I'm going to pan down to the south. National break. Okay, I'm ready. Go ahead. All right, we have winds gusting to 70 miles per hour reported with some of the storms in progress right now. Gary, Marshall, Riley, part of Pottawatomie, and Wabaunsee County all included in this warning. The strongest part of the storm is going to be right through here near Randolph, Riley, almost into Manhattan. Again, winds to 70 miles per hour with this. Around Fort Riley and Junction City, it's strong straight line winds. It could be up to 70 miles per hour at this time. It is not a tornado threat from what we see at this point. If we do see a threat of a tornado, we'll come in on TV and stay on here long form with a wall-to-wall coverage. Right now we are watching cameras like this one from Manhattan as a shelf cloud will move in shortly. It should be a pretty ominous looking storm cloud that moves in, but again, it's not a tornado threat. But over the next few hours, we get closer to sunset, and even through 10 or 11 o'clock this evening, I expect to see more storms filling in on this. We'll very likely have more warnings, probably still some tornado warnings between now and 11 p.m. We are live streaming on WIBW.com, on Facebook, YouTube as well, so you can check us out there. We'll break into TV often with updates to the national commercial breaks. And again, if a tornado warning is issued, we'll stay on continuously with coverage there. Keep your TV right here. We'll keep you safe and informed. All right, thank you, Bridge. So for those of you watching us in the live stream, you're seeing kind of behind the scenes thing there, and I'll explain it to you as well. What I'm doing is having the folks in the bridge let me know when a national commercial break hits, and then I can fill about a minute to a minute and a half there without eating up any of the programming since we're on severe storms. If we have a tornado, we'll stay on continuously. But the neat thing with CBS is we don't know when a national break is going to hit. We just don't know. So what I have to do is just be ready to go whenever they tell me now is the time, and then I can eat up that time from the national, and I don't interrupt a local advertisement or eat up a bunch of TV for winds that are 60, 70 miles per hour. We want to make sure that if we're coming on TV for a long time, that it's for the higher end stuff and not eat up all of your CBS program. Of course, we're proud to have CBS right here on WIBW TV, and we've got to kind of balance what we're doing with the weather and the programming as well.
Did have a report of 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts at 7:20 near Junction City.
Thank you, Doug. 7:20?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so as Doug said, we have 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts reported near Junction City just really a few minutes ago. And I'm going to take us over to weather cameras again, the KDOT cameras. I can go back to the beginning of my graphics. Here's what I'll do. There's candrive.org. This is the southwest side of Junction City, or southwest view from exit 299 there. There's exit 301. This is Manhattan, exit 313. It's windy there, but certainly not seeing a severe storm at that point just yet. It will. It'll be there in just a few minutes. And then back down the road, that's a new tower camera that KDOT just added not that long ago. It's I-70 at US 77, and that's a nice high tower looking to the northeast. So a lot of times it can drive folks. I believe they work with the National Weather Service to coordinate on putting some of these pointing toward tornadoes, but that's not a communication that I get to take part in, unfortunately.
We did have a severe thunderstorm warning get canceled, so now we just have one warning in our area, so it's a lot easier to see on the radar of who is in the damaging wind threat.
All right, so no tornado warnings. We have one area under a severe storm warning at this point. And I'm still watching from Emporia. I think storms will be coming that way later on this evening, possibly even after the low-level jet kicks in, right around or just after sunset. And zooming out, you can see the tornado warnings are lined up in Oklahoma. And we have the one big area under a severe thunderstorm warning here going until 7:30 p.m. That's the old one. That's got to be the old one.
Should be.
Sorry, showing the old one. Let's see. 7:45. There we go. Sorry about that. So 7:45 p.m. is the warning expiration time on this. And that doesn't mean that's when this ends. It means that's when this particular severe storm warning ends is then. So panning back over this, the strongest of the winds on this are close to Highway 77, almost over to Tuttle Creek Lake and some of the campgrounds. You have friends or family camping out there. You may want to give them a call, let them know to take shelter. It's not a tornado situation, but if you're in a tent or an RV, those things can be very dangerous in this kind of weather. So if you have friends or family, just call and let them know, hey, shelter for a minute. Be ready for strong winds. I don't want to scare anybody. It's not a tornado, but it is definitely strong straight line winds coming across Tuttle Creek Lake toward the campgrounds there for people at this time. So down to the south here, strong winds just reported a few minutes ago. Doug mentioned that Junction City had winds to around 70 miles per hour, and that's working its way very close to I-70, getting close to Manhattan. So in Manhattan, these strong winds are going to be arriving in town in just a few minutes from now. So if you're in Manhattan, Keats, Tuttle Creek Lake, that batch of the strongest winds right there. It's kind of a bow segment in this. It's shaped like a bow, coming right to the northeast, heading toward Manhattan. And the forward speed on these has been close to 50 miles per hour for a lot of these. So that's going to arrive in Manhattan probably the next maybe 10 minutes the most. I'll zoom back out on this and give you a time arrival for Manhattan, Westmoreland, and up to Onega with this. Let's pan it or track it that far. So go from the leading edge, these strong winds right there, through Manhattan, take it out to roughly, I'll call it 45 miles per hour. There we go. So you've got it at Manhattan at 743, St. George 753, Onega 822. That's if it goes kind of to the north and east. If I track a little farther to the south, I can get Wamego for a time of arrival in there, 804, and it would be the time in Bellevue, 814 maybe. I think it's going to be more north of Bellevue, but it could be in Wamego by 804. It's a real possibility for you there. To the south, again, we're still watching these wild tornadoes down in Oklahoma. Doesn't look like there's any confirmed at this point. Let me check. So none of those confirmed on the ground right now. We did have a big one touch down a little while ago, it looked like, on the radar. It's a very impressive rotation. There it is right there. it's kind of getting eaten up. It's still a significant rotation. It's a Doppler radar indicated tornado there in Oklahoma as part of this outbreak that's going on. So back to the north, you'll see in northeast Kansas we have the one area in a severe storm warning right now. It's this thing from near Clay Center through Manhattan, Junction City, and Fort Riley in that. It goes till 7:45. We will very likely see this updated in the next few minutes, and it'll crop off some of the backside of this where the strong winds have already passed by. Now to the south, I'm seeing more development, and we have to watch this area closely too, as we have these storms down to the south near Wichita. And this is not a big storm at this point, but the energy out here just ahead of this is very, very high, very strong. The rotation out ahead of this is significant. So these little storms here that don't look much now, that thing is moving to an area that has not rained yet. The atmosphere is still very warm and humid. A low-level jet stream kicks in here in the next half hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour or 2 hours the most. We could see these things, or even more storms forming down here, become strong or even severe. So while we have the stuff going in northeast Kansas, we have stuff down to the south in Oklahoma, we still have to watch the stuff that's just to the east and northeast of Wichita that could fill in really at any time and become more strong and even severe storms. All right, so Manhattan, I'm going to watch you guys as a severe storm moves in, and we'll check it out from the Flint Hills Discovery Center camera here. Go to cam sub here and see if I can bring up the embed camera here. See if it'll load for me. There you go. So I can have the camera with the radar, kind of both of them at the same time there. And you can see the shelf cloud there coming toward Manhattan, and probably the strongest of the wind there arriving in Manhattan in the next few minutes here. Again, it's a severe thunderstorm warning. It's not a tornado warning. It's a batch of strong winds that are going to be close to 70 miles per hour arriving there in Manhattan in the next few minutes. So that's the view there with the radar as well. And just nice to be able to put the radar and the camera both up at the same time. So 70 mile per hour winds, 7:45 p.m. is the expiration time on that. Zooming back out, that's going to move ultimately in areas like Onega, Westmoreland. You're going to be affected by this with strong winds. It'll get up to probably Marysville, maybe even Seneca, and as it continues to make its way northeast. So that's not it. There's still, you can see more storms developing kind of behind it here, almost parallel to I-70 at this point. So there's still plenty of instability, and any of that stuff could become severe as well. So I'm gonna pan over there and look at what's coming behind it. We also had more storms popping up just west of Concordia. This is what I was curious about, to see if this stuff also becomes severe or not. I believe that's along the dry line. Some of these storms may be outrunning the dry line, which happens. So I'm curious to see if these become severe as well. And that's something the computer models have been showing very well, is showing a second line of storms popping up kind of behind the first line. So there's 8 p.m. on the computer models, and this will update here in a few minutes. A few minutes, more like an hour from now is when the evening version of the HRR model will come in. That's based on the weather balloon soundings that go up in the evening from National Weather Service, Topeka, and really all around the nation. So that data will give us an update on, are we expecting to see this continue to be severe or come in lower intensity, or what's going to happen? Give us better insight there. By 9 o'clock, maybe 10, we're close to Topeka with the severe winds and the tornado threat. By 10 o'clock, we still could be close to Topeka and Lawrence. Here's that second line that's showing up on the radar now, and I believe that's the dry line itself coming in as well. So the storms kind of outrun it with some of the upper level dynamics on this, continuing to keep those going. And then this is a scary signature there. So look down to the south. This shows a really nasty supercell showing up there over the north part of Butler County. Now the computer model is showing an exact spot with a supercell. It doesn't mean that's exactly where will happen, but if it's showing individual supercells like this, something could pop up in that vicinity of that kind of structure. And one that's out by itself like that is the kind that has the highest chance of producing bigger damaging tornadoes. Really, when they can get out by themselves, away from the other storms, they have the higher chance of being particularly damaging. So through the night, we'll continue with this tornado watch going until 11 p.m. Tomorrow, we have really a beautiful day. It's going to be sunny and very comfortable. Temperatures close to 80 and light winds expected. So here are the road conditions near Manhattan exit 313. Dry so far, but the storm will arrive there in a few minutes. Junction City, everything is soggy from the storm moving through. Fort Riley, things are starting to calm down now from the strong winds that just went through there. 62 degrees right now in Concordia. There's a view from Emporia. I'm still watching that area. I expect to see the kind of the southern part of this. I expect to see this stuff make its way over here as the evening goes on. I really expect to see storms around Council Grove and Emporia in the next hour or two. So zooming back out, we have a few severe storm warnings in place. We have the big area at this point that goes from Manhattan up to almost Marysville. And then we have the severe storm warning that's near Abilene. This is a new one back there. So it is developing more severe storms behind the first line. So I zoom back in on this again. We'll check out Manhattan. So Manhattan, the severe storm winds are getting close to town, if not actually in town now. And you have the warning goes till 7:45. It goes up to Randolph and Riley. Go ahead and take the cams full on this and check out the view in Manhattan as this thing is moving into town. There we go. So you have a pretty well-formed shelf cloud moving into town there in Manhattan. That's the view from the Flint Hills Discovery Center, which is kind of on the southeast side of town by the river. And what you'll see is the wind's going to start blasting in here in just a few moments. It's already windy in town, no doubt. There's an absolute curtain of rain coming in as well, and that's the shelf cloud right there. You can see right through here. That's the shelf. Okay, bridge, TV. We're a tornado warning for Pottawatomie, Riley. Let's go. On, come on. All right, tornado warning for Pottawatomie and Riley counties right now issued by the National Weather Service. And we'll check out the velocity on this. Doug, what's the text on this thing?
Let's see here. So we have, I'm sorry, I'm just getting it. It's going here online here.
It's going to be southwest of Manhattan. It's right here. Go ahead. If you have it, go ahead.
Yep. All right. So I got it now. So we've got, it's near Ogden, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So this does include the city of Manhattan, Ogden, Tuttle Creek Lake, and Keats.
Manhattan, take shelter now, please. If you're in Manhattan, you've got to take shelter right now. It's a Doppler radar indicated tornado, but as Doug mentioned, this is just southwest of you and moving toward Manhattan at this point. I want to take the velocity back here as well. Again, so Manhattan, take shelter right now. Folks around Ogden, looks like that's where the rotation was. This is right, just almost right on top of Manhattan now. Manhattan, take shelter immediately in town, all over town. Wherever you are in Manhattan, take shelter now. If you're at K-State, take shelter right now. The rotation is just right there, just on the west side of town. I'll bring up our camera from Manhattan and see if we can see this. We were covering this in the live stream. It looked like a well-formed shelf cloud coming into town, but now we can look and see if, in fact, it's going to produce a tornado. So there it is, moving into the city of Manhattan from the southwest, and it could produce a tornado any time. So if you're in Manhattan, please take shelter immediately. That's what I'm looking at right there. It's just the southwest of Manhattan, kind of right in here. And this is a rain-wrapped tornado, so if you're curious, want to get out and check it out, don't. Make sure the captioning's going, guys. I'm not sure if you have it or not, but make sure it is. Back onto the velocity here. The rotation on this is getting right there, just around the west edge of town, and that's more well-formed than it was any time earlier. We're getting close to Anderson Avenue here. There's Anderson Avenue and Claflin over here, 113 near K-State Urgent Care. Living Word Church over here with Amherst Avenue, and a rotation on that is going to be this stuff there right here in this area near Anderson Avenue and Amherst. That's where this rotation is. There could be a tornado touchdown there any moment if not in progress right now. I'm going to bring back up my camera here and bring it up on in the inset if I can. So again, in Manhattan, you have a potential tornado moving into town in just the next few moments here. I don't have confirmation this is down, but I can tell you it's certainly awfully close. There's the camera looking at the rotation. That's it right here. If this touches down, it's that. So we've had a history of producing 70-mile-per-hour winds, and right now what I have is a Doppler radar indication of a tornado, and that is a potential tornado moving into Manhattan right now. It's not, I can't tell it's a big tornado right now, but I can definitely see the rotation on it. And there's the lowering on this that's moving into the western part of the city. I'm going to go back over here to the radar again and see how this looks. So there's your rotation, just kind of near Anderson Avenue on the west side of town, back in the velocity again. These things have been moving fast, moving 50 miles per hour. So if you're near this, you don't have a lot of time to to take shelter, you need to get to shelter immediately. So in Manhattan, Isaac, put that up as Manhattan takes shelter now. The west side of town looks where it would be, right over here. So that's coming into the city right at this point. I'm going to turn the camera and see if I see over this direction as well. So again, it's Doppler radar indicated. We're near Anderson Avenue right here. There's Kimball Avenue. There might be 2 different areas of rotation in this at this point. But if you're there in Manhattan, you have to take shelter right now, especially the north side of town is how it looks to me at this point. So back over to Cam's here. Let's take this full. You're going to see the storm moving into the city of Manhattan. I don't see debris flying or that kind of thing, but this is going to be right on top of town and certainly just the definition of rain wrapped. If you're in Manhattan, please take shelter now. This popped up very quickly and it's moving at roughly 45 to 50 miles per hour to the northeast across town, and certainly very dangerous there with this potential. This is a Doppler radar indicated tornado so far. If it does touch down, I'm sure we'll get confirmation of that very quickly. I don't see debris flying, thankfully, and I don't see a tornado on the ground, but it does have a lot of spin with it. Back over to velocity again, and the spin on this is going to be, let's see, moving in here. We're getting up closer to Marlott Avenue at this point. I'm going to stop the rotation here and look at exactly where that's located now. So as we pan up here, we're getting closer to, let's see, what do we have in these streets? It's going to be kind of the northwest side of town, so it looks like to me at this point. Zooming back in. So in Manhattan, take shelter now. We're going to be close to Kimball, really right at K-State University is where this is going to be. So that's the rotation showing up. Now the radar on this could be as much as a minute or 2 old. It's moving 50 miles per hour. So as I say K-State, you know, it's probably more like a mile northeast. So around Eisenhower Middle School is where this actually be right now if in fact it's a tornado in here. But the velocity showing it's very close to K-State University right now. And again, it's a tornado warning. It's still Doppler radar indicated there in the city of Manhattan. So up toward Tuttle Creek Park, if you have friends or family camping up there, you need to call or text them and let them know to take shelter right now. That's a very dangerous storm that's in place. It has a possibility of producing a tornado at any time if it has not already. Now looking at the velocity again here, there's a couple of different areas of suspicious rotation there. I'm going to take this back out a little bit and look at the rotation kind of frame by frame as it moves through town there. So in Manhattan, just you're seeing what I'm saying here, but take shelter there right now in Manhattan. You don't have to look at all the analysis here. Just take shelter if you're there in Manhattan. Do that first, and we'll try to explain it to you later after we get to a more safe spot here. But there are really a couple of areas of rotation there in this. There are 3 different little eddies. One just south of downtown, one over K-State, another one's closer to Tuttle Creek Lake. There are really 3 different spots there that I see some rotation. Doug, you have something on it?
I'm still waiting on an update from that. Just a new severe thunderstorm warning that was issued for portions of Gary, Marshall, Pottawatomie, Riley, Wabaunsee, and Washington. So you can see the 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in our area. Of course, within the tornado warning polygon there. So if you're in any type of warning, take shelter, because even within the storm warning that goes up towards Marysville, that could still have 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts with it, which could do just as much damage as a weak tornado. So even if you're up in the northern portions, or pretty much the bulk of Marshall County, southeastern Washington County, you still want to stay away from windows, certainly, maybe even take shelter. But yeah, still looking at this tornado warned storm as it continues to work its way up to the northeast with this tornado warning that one goes until 8 o'clock.
All right, thanks, Doug. Let's go back to the weather graphics here. And I'm watching, it's kind of a lowering there coming over the Flint Hills Discovery Center. Again, there are a couple of suspicious areas on this, but a downpour of rain, and if there is a tornado, you're not going to see it. I'm watching to see if I see any debris flying is what I'm most concerned with picking out here, because seeing the funnel would be very hard with this much rain downpour in this thing. So really the danger on this is there's a couple of different spins, really all right over very close to Manhattan at this time. And I encourage you, if you are in or very near Manhattan, please take shelter right now. It's a very dangerous storm. It has a tornado warning with it. It is Doppler radar indicated at this point. I don't have any reports of damage. If it does touch down, we will know very shortly that it has. But right now we have, it's a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning from the National Weather Service. And the spin on this really is right on top of Manhattan. So please, if you're there, take shelter. If you have friends or family at the Tuttle Creek Lake camping and that kind of thing, call and let them know to take shelter. If you're there, you need to take shelter. That's a dangerous storm very close to those areas in Manhattan and close by. So the velocity on this, you can see the rotation show up just a couple of frames ago right there in your town, and then there are really two different spins at least, one kind of on the northwest side of town near K-State, and the other really just kind of right over downtown at this point. But from checking out the radar on this and the camera, you know, I mean, I cannot see very well because of the fact that this is rain wrapped is what's going on with it. So it's a rain wrapped storm, and if there's a tornado in this, I cannot see it. But the rotation of that, again, there's a couple of different ones. One near K-State, the other is really near downtown from what I see.
Yeah, we do have an update. So the location that they're looking for is located near Manhattan, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. So Manhattan and Tuttle Creek Lake are going to be the biggest impacts that we'll have within this warning on the areas of concern with the higher population as this continues to move to the northeast and going until 8 o'clock with this tornado warning.
All right, thank you, Doug. So back over here, we have the camera looking out there. I don't see debris. That doesn't mean it hasn't touched down. If it was a big tornado, we would almost surely see something flying around there. So thankfully, I'm not seeing anything like that. From Wamego, it's still calm. You're in the severe storm warning. You don't have a tornado warning in Wamego at this time. But downstream areas like Westmoreland, you have to watch this one. So Westmoreland, you're in the path of this. You're not in the tornado warning just yet. But this one's moving in that direction. So Westmoreland, you should be paying attention to this one. All of Pottawatomie County, you probably had your NOAA weather radios going off in the last few moments here because of this storm. The tornado warning is right now for Manhattan. There's a new tornado warning coming up now.
That's for Dickinson County, so now they're starting to back build a little bit. So again, we're not in the woods from all these storms.
Right. So here we go.
Could potentially be severe and tornadic.
Over here, this is Dickinson County. As Doug just mentioned, there's a well-formed hook echo. This is the one that has potential to last a long time because of where it's at. It's kind of the south edge of one of these lines. That's going to move north-northeast. That is a new tornado warning just forming, being issued in Dickinson County. So if you're watching us on TV and you want to go to your safe spot, you can take us on your phone and watch the live stream wherever you need to be. You can watch us on YouTube. Just go search WIBW. We're live streaming there on Facebook as well. So if you need to go to your safe spot in your shelter, that's a well-defined hook echo right there. Approaching Abilene. They're calling this Doppler radar indicated as well, but that is a very pronounced hook echo and a very strong sign of a tornado. That's the strongest sign of a tornado by far we've seen today. The one earlier in Clay County was kind of hard to pick out. This is not hard to see that one at all. Around Holland, approaching Abilene in the next few minutes. Abilene, you should take shelter right now in Abilene. Solomon, I would take shelter there as well, but that's a new tornado warning just issued in the last few moments here for Dickinson County, and that one is going to be moving to the northeast and could be a problem for folks around Chapman, Clay County, Gary County. Areas is already raining right now. You could have that tornado warning moving in shortly, and these things can keep going for quite a while. So again, and we have the next line of storms developing back here close to Concordia up to Minneapolis, Kansas. That storm. That batch of storms could become severe as well. But right now we have these two in place. We'll see what's going on with this one. In Manhattan, you have a tornado warning that includes areas from Manhattan to Tuttle Creek Lake. It doesn't go all the way up into areas like Westmoreland. St. George, you're right kind of on the edge of this, but the rotation of it to me looks like it is just past Manhattan at this point. So Manhattan, I'm not going to sound the all clear for you at this point, of course. You're still officially in tornado warning. But you're very close to being out of it. And I'm watching it on my camera. I don't see that thing as being down. I'm going to go to velocity. I'm going to zoom in more closely on this. And I'm going to stop the radar here and see where the spin areas are. So there's one just to the kind of the east-northeast of Manhattan now moving into Pottawatomie County. So this area of rotation right here, that's suspicious, just north of Highway 24. That could be a tornado. And it's moving to the east-northeast right there, and then zooming back out, you also see some areas of rotation that are up here close to Tuttle Creek Lake. So there's a couple of different spins here, really kind of getting close to Oldsburg, really. But I think this is the one that's the most dangerous, is right in this area that has just passed by Manhattan, getting into Pottawatomie County. I'm going to loop this and see if that's the spin. It just pops up right here by Manhattan and moving to the east-northeast. So kind of northwest of St. George a couple of miles, and then just east of Tuttle Creek Lake, maybe 5 miles there. Those are two different spots of rotation that would certainly be concerning at this point. And see if the National Weather Service drops part of this in a moment, which they probably will if they haven't already. I'll bring back the warning. You'll see the map here. So the warning going until, what was the time on this? We've got till 8 o'clock for Pottawatomie and Riley counties, and for Doppler radar indicated tornado. I have no reports this has touched down, but it certainly could. If it touched down in Manhattan, I'm sure we'd have a report of damage at this point. And I'm going to look at this warning for Dickinson County here and talk about this one as well. 7 miles south of Solomon, moving northeast at 35, includes I-70 between mile marker 268 and 283. So in Manhattan, you can breathe a bit better now. The rotation is moving past you. In southwest parts of Pottawatomie County, you need to watch this one closely. Even around Westmoreland, you need to watch this one closely. If it has touched down, I have not gotten any reports of a touchdown. I haven't seen any signs of debris. There's the update. Manhattan is out of the tornado warning now. So the tornado warning is now strictly in Pottawatomie County. So Westmoreland, you're near this. St. George is right on the edge of this. Wamego is not in that tornado warning. So again, if you're in Manhattan, you are no longer in this tornado warning.
Because like it's mainly over rural areas of southwest Pottawatomie County.
Right.
No major cities, obviously. I'm sure there's people that live in that area, and certainly we're making sure everyone is safe that is in the polygon, but good news is it's not over any major cities at this point in time.
All right, so I'm watching it again from our cameras here, and I don't have eyes on it. I don't see this tornado down. I have not seen debris flying. It's rain wrapped, whatever's going on there, but it was Doppler radar indicated. I didn't see debris showing up on the radar, and I don't see debris flying in the air there in Manhattan. I'm sure there's at least some wind damage in town from the storm moving through, but I don't see signs of debris there, thankfully. So if you're Westmoreland, Onega, Wheaton, Wamego, keep your eye on this. We will continue to watch it as well. That warning going for a few more minutes here. And then to the west, the other storm with a tornado warning is in Dickinson County, and it is moving northeast toward areas like Chapman and Abilene, and then crossing I-70 as well. So there's a tornado warning right here. This is Doppler radar indicated as well, going until 8:15, and this one by far has a much more significant hook echo on it. It's just a different style of storm. The tornado warning here until 8:15 for rotation that's just about to cross I-70 in the next few minutes near Abilene. So for folks there near Abilene, if you're traveling on I-70 between Solomon and Enterprise, or Solomon and Chapman, that's not a place you want to be right now unless you're a storm chaser, and that's going to be a dangerous spot. I'm going to get our cameras ready from KDOT along that area. I don't see anything there yet, but I'm going to have them ready just in case we do. So on the velocity here, you see the rotation on this, just about, they said 7 miles south of Solomon when it began a few minutes ago. The rotation right here is almost to Abilene. So if you're in Abilene, you need to take shelter right now as that storm gets closer to you. Around Abilene, you could have a tornado touch down there any time now. So if you're around Abilene, please take shelter. I would take shelter in Enterprise. Chapman, I think this will stay just west of you. The bigger concern there is folks around Chapman just would not travel down I-70 heading towards Salina right now, or Salina going the other way. That's going to be a dangerous spot to go with a potential tornado that could touch down any time if it hasn't already. So again, the hook echo with this is right here. You can really see on the velocity as well, getting close to Abilene at this point. And that was a very well-defined hook echo a few minutes ago, and the rotation showing up well, getting almost to I-70 coming in from the south. So again, if you're in Manhattan, you're no longer in the tornado warning. The tornado warning was going until 8 o'clock now for Pottawatomie County. That's just in a couple of minutes from now. And I believe they've extended the severe storm. Is that a new severe storm warning?
I don't see anything coming up in chat.
Okay.
What are you seeing on
the
map
it's just
there?
the severe storm warning that's around that thing. I was so hyper-focused on the tornado warning, I didn't catch if that severe thunderstorm warning was new or if that was already there. I think it was already there.
Yeah.
And the rotation showed up in it. That's what it is. Okay. All right. Got it. All right. So tornado warning continues for the southwest part of Pottawatomie County for another 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes, I guess. So there it is. And this is moving northeast. It does not show the same signs it did a few moments ago. I'm going to see what the Weather Service is saying on this, if they've letting it go. Okay. So Manhattan's no longer in it. And Riley's out of it, as I mentioned. Pottawatomie County continues until 8 o'clock. And again, that's a Doppler radar indicated tornado that's moving into the southwest part of Pottawatomie County is where they've got this. Plenty of tornado warnings down to the south. I'm going to zoom back in here, and you see the second line of storms is developing behind this, and also watching storms to the south that are coming from the Wichita area moving toward us. All right, so tornado warning for the next couple of minutes here. I'm going to zoom in, and we'll take that camera from Manhattan again and just see if I can see anything on it. The farther it gets from the radar or from the camera, we might be able to see it better if once we get rain away from the camera itself. It's pretty rain wrapped, so probably going to be difficult to pick this out. But it's always a good idea just to see if you can confirm the thing. So there's the cameras here. I'm going to drop it on from Manhattan, from the Flint Hills Discovery Center, and we're looking to the northeast there, and the rotation itself, kind of in that area, kind of where we go from dry conditions to storm. So I don't see a tornado there. I just don't see one from the camera at this point, thankfully. So again,
it's new thunderstorm warning for Cloud, Ottawa, and Republic County.
Okay, so that's the second line that's developing, and I really think that's along the dry line itself. They're saying 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail from 8 miles north of Concordia to Glasgow near Canopolis. So we have a new severe thunderstorm warning being issued. This thing that's in southwest Pottawatomie County, I don't have a lot of confidence it's on the ground. The warning expires in 3 minutes. So for Riley County, it's gone. For southwest Pottawatomie County, it goes away in about 3 minutes here. In Dickinson County, this is a tornado warning that includes Abilene. You are in this right now, so if you're in Abilene, you need to take shelter right now. The town of Enterprise, you're awfully close to this. It does not look like it's going to hit Enterprise, but it's awfully close to Enterprise, so you should be taking shelter in Enterprise anyway. The town of Abilene, you are the closest to this, and if it was going to hit a town or close by, it would certainly be the Abilene area is who I'd be the most concerned about. Let's see if this will launch. No, I won't do it. All right, so right there in Abilene, you should be taking shelter right now. Again, that's a tornado warning. It's Doppler radar indicated for Dickinson County. It's past the town of New Bern. That rotation is solid now. Yeah, just south of Abilene, a couple of miles. That is a significant rotation that's showing up there. A moment ago, it was starting to maybe fizzle a little bit, but right along Highway 15, I'm going to stop this stop the radar there and give you a mileage there on how far away this is. We've got a rotation that is from Abilene, maybe 4 miles southwest of where Highway 15 runs through I-70 there. So that's where this tornado would be. We'll check the debris. I probably won't see anything here. But
they are definitely watching some lowering on a wall cloud in Abilene.
Okay.
Right now, it's still, the latest update is radar indicated that just came out a minute ago at 7:58.
Okay, thank you. So this thing that's near Abilene has potential to produce a tornado at any time. It's a wall cloud is what's being mentioned with this. As that moves to the north, you'd be looking at that being a problem for Clay County again. We had tornado warnings in Clay County earlier. And as I mentioned, Doug was telling us this moment ago, they have new warnings being issued, severe storm warnings for this part of the storms. Over here near Concordia, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. Hail the size of quarters as possible, and also winds to 60 miles per hour. And from Concordia right now, we have the live camera there at Cloud County Community College. That's the view right now there. And again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning that does include Concordia with this, so you could have strong winds and hail up to the size of quarters. And it looks like the worst part of that is just south of town and moving into town shortly. I'll pan this around here. You can see a little sunshine peeking in behind. I think that might be the dry line that's getting close to Concordia right now. So while you're seeing some sun peek out, that does not mean that it's calming down. It's going to certainly get rough here around Concordia shortly. So back in the velocity here, let's see what's going on there through Cloud County. And again, this is winds to 60 miles per hour, the threat in that area. All right, so the tornado warning that's for Pottawatomie County is now gone. I do not believe they've reissued, because I haven't heard any sirens going on.
Nothing there. It's just the Abilene or the Dickinson County.
They have a new severe thunderstorm warning issued out ahead of it for parts of Nemaha, even Jackson County in there. And then we're watching, this is the lone tornado warning that we have at this time. And behind that, you can see this fill in. An hour ago, there's hardly anything. And as we get up to now, look at this filling in down almost, getting well past Salina to the south. It's filled in about 80 miles in less than an hour. in those areas. So that next line is severe near Concordia, and we'll see if it continues to be severe as it moves on. So on Supercast, it does show that next line moving in from back there to the west. We have this line of storms and severe weather near Topeka and Emporia by 9 o'clock. I don't know if this is the 0Z HRRR yet, but we see that second line of storm still staying with us late. Once we get past midnight, the threat of severe weather is probably going to be over with for the night. But right now, again, we still have that tornado warning that's in place for the Abilene area, and I'm concerned about that getting into Clay County shortly here on its current heading. All right, I want to bring up a map here with the wind and dew points and the radar all together, and that's going to kind of jump my computer here for a moment, but I want to see this and see how this looks. All right, so the winds in Concordia still out of the south. These are the areas of higher moisture content up through Topeka to Abilene at this point. So the dew points aren't especially high back there around Concordia at this point, so maybe the dry line is through that area. I'm going to check the regional numbers here and see what it shows and see if I can find where the dry line is exactly located, and that gives an idea of how dangerous the second line of storms could be if the dew points there are a bit lower, hopefully. So let's bring that back up here. So we have Concordia with a dew point of 55. That's much lower than it was. Topeka 67, Emporia 67. So the humidity values are much higher out ahead of this first line of storms. Manhattan 57 dew point now. Concordia 55 means the risk drops off somewhat to the northwest. So Concordia, your risk of a tornado, I would not say is over with, but is much, much lower than it was now that we're starting to see that get past you a bit. So let's go back over to the main weather graphics here. And again, we're watching the storm that's getting into Concordia at this time. That is not going to be a tornado threat. I expect it to be heavy rain, possibly some damaging winds. But Concordia, what I see there around town, doesn't look like a threat of tornadoes from what I'm seeing. So again, I won't say you're all clear here. I'm not sure if they've dropped the tornado watch in that area yet, but they probably will. I'm not sure they have the severe storm warnings in place. You probably don't want to drop it just yet. But the big threat we have going on right now is this thing. We have a tornado warning that's near Abilene at this time, just about to cross over I-70.
All right, we got a new tornado warning for Pottawatomie County.
A new one? Is it the same storm it was? Probably
yeah.
So. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So the storm in Pottawatomie County that came across Manhattan.
This is for Westmoreland, guys. I know this is hitting some nerves here from last week, but Westmoreland, you got to take cover.
I know. No, hate to do that. All right, Westmoreland, you guys need to take shelter right now. So Westmoreland, you have potential for a tornado. We're going to zoom in more closely on it right here. The National Weather Service just issued this thing. So a tornado warning includes Westmoreland, includes Wheaton. You're in this as well. So you need to take shelter right now in those areas. The possibility of seeing a tornado could touch down anytime, and that rotation is awfully close to Westmoreland is really where it is. So if you're there near Westmoreland, you need to take shelter right now as this storm moves by. I'm going to take our camera and point it that way again, see if I can see anything there. This is the same storm that moved over Manhattan a few minutes ago and created the tornado warning there. And as I look at the rotation on this, looks like it's just east of Westmoreland at this point, getting close to Wheaton. That's your area of spin right there, and close to Highway 16 right now. So that's going to be just so rain wrapped, it's hard to see anything over there. Plus, we're getting closer to sunset here. It'll be difficult to pick out anything on these. So around Westmoreland, take shelter. Wheaton, take shelter. If you're in Onega, take shelter. This is close to you. Looks like the rotation on this is just past Westmoreland at this point from what I see there, and getting close to Wheaton. I'm going to check the debris mode here and see if we see anything flying. This just past Westmoreland, there may be a signature of some debris there. I'm not 100% sure there, but if you're in Westmoreland, stay in your shelter as this passes by. This storm is a Doppler radar indicated tornado. It's going to head toward areas like Wheaton. And between Wheaton and Onega there on Highway 16, don't travel that way in the next half hour or so. You have potential for a tornado that could touch down any time there. So Westmoreland takes shelter, Wheaton takes shelter, Onega takes shelter. These are the areas that are in danger with that particular storm. And again, it's Doppler radar indicated from what we have at this point. So if you're in Westmoreland, Wheaton, Onega, you should take shelter right now from that one. Check out the other tornado warning. The other one's also Doppler radar indicated near Abilene. And we have more storms developing to the south around Wichita that are starting to fill in as well now. So Abilene, this is just about to cross I-70. I want to go back and see if I can bring up my KDOT camera that's near I-70 as that comes across there. So this is going to be Abilene I-70 there. So I've got the Emporia camera. See if I can bring that thing up. All right, so again, Westmoreland, you are in the area of the rotation that's showing up there on radar. Also for folks that are over in Abilene, you should be taking shelter right now as these storms are moving through for Abilene as well. So both of these are Doppler radar indicated. Neither one of these are confirmed tornadoes. There's the camera at Chapman on I-70, and Abilene, the Abilene exit right there on I-70. Sometimes they'll turn these cameras around, but Abilene looks like where the tornado is going to come across the road, almost right there. This is looking east from Abilene. I'm going to pick out where exactly it is there in town. So it's going to be right there at the intersection of Highway 15 and I-70, which looks very close to where this thing would touch down if it's going to do so. So right there by in Abilene, you should take shelter right now. If you're in Westmoreland, Wheaton, Onega, you should be taking shelter right now. We have more storms filling in to the west, and probably going to have more tornado warnings as we go through the evening. So there are the two warnings that are active, the white ones, the white polygon here for Pottawatomie County, and the white polygon here that's in Dickinson County. We have the warnings filling in now out to the west in parts of Cloud County, over in Ottawa County. Those are severe thunderstorm warnings. And if I bring up the composite here, you can look across the state and really see how it's kind of filling in with more warnings on this. So this is now starting to take more of its form. As you get out wider, you can see the tornado warnings, severe storm warnings in Oklahoma, and more of that activity up here, even seeing severe storm warnings and tornado potential in southeast parts of Nebraska. So around Wheaton and Westmoreland, those are the areas that are in danger right now for a potential tornado. I think Westmoreland looks like it's just past you at this point. Wheaton and Onega, that's a particular tornado warning that's in Pottawatomie County. It's getting closer to you. So as we zoom in more closely on this, you'll see the rotation area coming past Westmoreland here from the old storm, and now getting closer to Wheaton and Onega. That's the same rotation that formed very close to Manhattan, and now makes its way across the middle of Pottawatomie County, and it could produce a tornado any time. I don't have reports that this thing is on the ground, but certainly could touch down any time. So please, if you're in those areas, just take shelter right now for us if you would. And if it does touch down, we'll find out after the fact, but for now, just please take shelter if you would. I'm trying to get eyes on this from any one of the cameras if I can. And it's so rain wrapped, and then of course the sun setting in a few minutes makes it a lot harder, but I'll still give it a look and see if I can pick these things out. So there's the rotation in Pottawatomie County. Back on the velocity mode here, I'm going to stop it, and you'll see the rotation there is close to Wheaton and Highway 16 there in Pottawatomie County. It's a new tornado warning.
It's like it looks like a new one, but also a continuation for Pottawatomie. So we got a couple of tornado warnings now going on, which is what we were thinking that was going to happen this evening.
Okay.
More than two at times, and now we're at 3 if you include Abilene. Okay. So the new one, make sure I'm on the right one. The new one is going to be for portions of Dickinson, Gary, Riley, and Clay County. So that is going to be, let me get over there to the new warning here. Doesn't look like it's come up yet, but this is going to be a tornado that is capable of producing a tornado near Moonlight, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Okay, now it just got on there, so it's continued that line from Abilene's tornadic warning storm, and you can see a little bit of that velocity, so having some good color there with that. So Junction City, you need to take shelter right now as you are in this warning. Abilene, of course, Chapman, Wakefield, Milford Lake, and Moonlight. So those are the cities of note. Junction City, you're kind of right on the edge of that warning, but you are technically within the list of cities that is in with the National Weather Service information with this warning. So I would take shelter just in case, even if it moves just to the west of you. And then that the update from the Pottawatomie County warning, you'll notice that Westmoreland is still kind of right on the edge of that. So you are technically out of the bulletin from the warning from the Weather Service. So yeah, you got something?
Yeah, over here. You guys, they're turning the camera in Abilene. KDOT's looking around there at this. That's the tornado, the warning we're looking at. So KDOT's looking around with that camera there, at the Abilene exit, looking southeast now on I-70. So they're tracking this, trying to find the tornado, trying to get eyes on it. So that's what this is right here, and I'll keep watching that, see if they bring something up. So we're in Concordia again. You're in the new storm warning.
Did your
Go ahead.
Did your mic die, or are they trying to talk to you? It's dead. Okay, come back to me while Jeremy fixes his battery. I'm hoping my computer doesn't die on me here.
Daniel's mic.
Okay, Daniel's mic. Okay, so as I was saying with this particular warning for Pottawatomie County, Onega and Wheaton are still in the cities of concern with this fast-moving storm moving northeast at 50 miles per hour going until 8:30. So, of course, we are now monitoring 3 tornado warnings within a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. And we're still monitoring a couple of isolated showers and thunderstorms even ahead of this main line, too. So, really, no one is out of the woods just yet from any possible severe weather, whether it's tornado or a severe thunderstorm warning. Everyone still needs to be mindful that a storm is still possible in your area. We have some storms coming in from the south that could be pushing into our southeastern communities here shortly. We're starting to get that low-level jet kicking in as we're getting closer to sunset. So as long as I'm here, you know that there still does remain a risk of tornado warning. So just be mindful of that. As long as I'm here, we are not out of the woods yet. Jeremy?
All right, Rich, you guys hear me now?
No, we can't hear you.
You can't hear me? I'm on mic 2.
Mic 2?
Mic 2. You got me now? Okay, good. There we go. All right, so the folks from KDOT are working to turn the camera around, see if they can see this tornado. I-70 at Abilene exit, they're turning it to east-southeast, so they're watching this to see if they can pick it out, moving there through Dickinson County, and I'll be watching that one closely. So in Pottawatomie County, we still have a tornado warning there. I'll zoom in more closely on this. The rotation of this is past Westmoreland at this time. It's getting closer to areas like Wheaton, Onega. That warning goes for the 17 minutes for a Doppler radar indicated tornado, and the velocity here, let's pick it out. The rotation here, really east of Westmoreland, south of Wheaton, not as well defined as it was a few minutes ago. It was a well-defined rotation near Manhattan a little while ago.
And actually, we did have a confirmed tornado at 7:48 near Ogden.
We did?
We did, yes.
Okay.
It was reported from Manhattan Airport.
Okay, let's go to reports here. 7:48, 5 minutes ago.
No, that's almost 20 minutes ago.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, thank you. All right, so we had this reported near the Ogden airport. Okay, so that's the one that's near Manhattan. I got you.
Yeah.
Right, I'm looking too far downstream. So they had it touch down here. That's where it was. Just west of Manhattan is where it touched down near the airport there. So that's where the confirmation of a tornado was a little while ago. All right, so now we have the active tornado warnings. So that storm has a history of producing a tornado. Not sure how much damage we have there in the Ogden airport, but possibly we could have some damage there. They say that did touch down. Now we go over here into Gary County and Dickinson County, Clay County, all under a tornado warning here till 8:45. Does include Fort Riley, and that is for the storm that's close to Abilene at this time. And I'm going to bring up the camera there again from KDOT, and they've been turning this, trying to catch it. Now they're looking to the east-northeast from the camera there from KDOT at the Abilene exit. I'm going to go over here to a higher resolution monitor and just see if I can see anything on that. And I don't, but they are looking absolutely in the right direction on this. It moves across Dickinson County and is heading into parts of Gary County and Clay County as well. So that's from the KDOT camera there, I-70 at Abilene, very close to where this would be if it does touch down. They're looking at it. That's the place where it would be. And I don't see it down at this moment, but it doesn't mean that it couldn't do it. So back here in northeast Kansas, again, we have 2 different tornado warnings ongoing. One in Pottawatomie. The other one is for parts of Riley, Gary, Clay, and Dickinson counties. So both of these potentially tornadic. The one that's in Pottawatomie did produce a tornado near Ogden at the airport a little while ago, is where the report was, where it came from. When we hear a report of where the tornado was spotted, it doesn't always mean it happened at that location. It could be a mile or 2. It could be where they spotted it from. So I'm not sure who has damage or what damage there is, but this storm getting close to Onega did produce a tornado near Ogden a little while ago, and now it's getting close to Onega. So Onega, take shelter now. The storm has a history of producing a tornado. The rotation right here, as I right in that area. Just a couple miles southwest of Onega is where it's located right now. So if you're in Onega, you should take shelter right now. Your rotation is right about there, just maybe 5 or 8 miles southwest of town. I'll give you a mileage on that for the location. So from the middle of rotation up to Onega, you're looking at 8 miles is the distance. These storms are moving 40 to 50 miles per hour today, so that one has a history of producing a tornado, and considered a Doppler radar indicated tornado right now with a history of producing a tornado. So that's a bigger deal. If it's done it before, it's more likely to do it again. So keep that in mind with this one. Now back over to the Abilene County, or the Abilene storm. This has a well-defined hook echo on it again. This storm doesn't have a history of dropping down yet from what I've seen. Bring this back up. I hope that's just water showing up in that lens. All right, stay with me here. Here we go. All right, there on the left side. Yep, that's a big raindrop. Good. All right, so we're watching the left side of that, and so it looks like a wedge tornado. It's not. That's a big raindrop that's coming to the left middle of the shot. But I'm watching this thing just to see if it does do anything. So right now it's probably rain wrapped. There's been a heavy rain there. You can see the water running on the road and off in the ditches there beside the road. But that is the best set of eyeballs we have on that storm that's passing by Abilene, making its way shortly here into Gary County and then over into Clay County. But wow, that raindrop is really deceiving. You could look at that and really confuse that for a tornado. It is not. It is a big raindrop that's right there on the lens. But looking northwest of Chapman, that's a very well-defined hook echo on this. If you're in Wakefield, you should be taking shelter right now. If you're in Fort Riley, you just took shelter a few minutes ago, I would take shelter again. This thing has a very well-defined hook echo. It's been going for a while. They have an update on it right now. So let's see what sort of update the Weather Service is going to give us with this one. And let's see. So details on this thing. Weather Service says as of 8:17, they're continuing the tornado warning until 8:45. Capable of producing tornado 4 miles northeast of Moonlight, moving northeast at 50. And tornado and $half size hail possible. Junction City, Chapman, Wakefield, Milford Lake, and Moonlight. So that's the area right here, just straight northwest of Chapman is what we're concerned about. So the rotation on that is very well formed and again could produce a tornado at any time. Wakefield, you're in the path of that. Town of Riley, it could affect you as well. I'm going to zoom it out and give you some time arrivals on this as it moves to the north and east. Onega, you're still taking shelter right now as well. We just have two different tornado warnings here to track, so I have to go back and forth a little bit here, of course. But from a couple miles northeast of Chapman, we'll track this out to the northeast. I'm going to go to 45 miles per hour. You're looking at it getting to Milford 837, Keats 852, town of Riley 850 will be in the path of that. And again, we have more storms filling in back to the northwest in areas like Concordia. You have a severe storm warning right now for potentially damaging winds. All right. I have a storm spotter. Mike Shrewis is out chasing this. There's definitely a wall cloud with that thing north of Chapman. So the storm northwest of Chapman, north of Chapman, I would not say it's a tornado right now. I would say it has a high potential of producing one. It has a well-formed wall cloud with it and could produce a tornado really at any time. That hook echo you're seeing just north of Chapman, right there, it's a classic shape of that hook. Fort Riley should be taking shelter. Wakefield should be taking shelter. Over at Milford Lake, you should be taking shelter. It's going to move across there here in the next few minutes. So you have friends or family that are camping there at Milford Lake, call them and let them know they should take shelter. The rotation on that's tightening up. It's very well defined right just north of Chapman at this time, maybe 4 miles, and that could produce a tornado at any time if it's not doing it already. So just because I can't see it on the camera doesn't mean it's not down. That could produce a tornado right now or any moment. Pottawatomie County, you still have a tornado warning that's near Ogden at this time. We'll zoom it back in. So if you're in Ogden, please take shelter. If you're not already, this tornado warning goes until 8:30. This storm has a history of producing a tornado a few minutes ago near Ogden, near the airport. That's the report we have. I don't have details on damage there at this point, but the report is that it did touch down. So it's near Ogden. Now it's close to Onega, and the warning for that goes for 10 more minutes, and that's going to be very close to Ogden or Onega at this time. Havensville is close to that as well. Your rotation is a couple of miles south of Onega at this time, and Havensville will be close to this. It's going to cross Highway 16 and 63 where those two come together. But Onega, you should be taking shelter right now, please. And in Havensville, it's not quite to you yet, but Havensville, heads up, you may be asked to take shelter in a few minutes if that continues, and that is a real possibility there in Havensville. Again, that has a history of touching down the tornado near Ogden just a while ago. The more dangerous storm from what I see on radar right now is this thing. It's really starting to tighten up on the velocity. There's your rotation. I'll stop this. You can see the hook echo very well defined just straight north of Chapman there. Let's see if KDOT's camera has this thing at this point. And again, a storm chaser just let me know they could see the well-formed wall cloud from this just a few minutes ago. And from Chapman, they're actually turning the camera around. They might have just put it back. So I'm kind of watching those cameras. But the velocity right here is north of Chapman. The distance on that, I'll give you a distance from the city of Chapman up to the actual tornado, if that's it. You're looking maybe 4 miles north of Chapman is where this is located. And the velocity, it's got a very well-defined rotation on this that's tightened up very well and is now getting very close to Milford Lake. So if you're at Milford Lake or have friends and family there, especially the middle or the north end of the lake toward the town of Milford, you should be taking shelter right now. That is that's a very strong rotation showing up on this thing. And the velocity on that, you've got it going away from the radar here and toward the radar there. So that is the rotation on this, and that could touch down at any time and is moving toward the town of Milford and toward Milford Lake. So if you're in that area, please take shelter right now. That is a very dangerous storm with a Doppler radar indicated tornado on this, and it's not been confirmed to touch down, but it certainly could at any time. So if you're there or have friends and family there, call them and let them know to please take shelter, or if you're there, take shelter. Let's see what
Just
this
have
update is. Go ahead.
two different severe thunderstorm warnings that got issued for quarter-sized hail and wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour.
All right, thank you, Doug. So we have more 60-mile-per-hour winds and hail the size of quarters. That's kind of the lower end on severe storm warnings. So that's moving. That's part of that's moving into Washington County, just showing us that the back line of this is still developing. And in the middle of it is where we're seeing the stronger storms with the potential for tornadoes. Right here is the worst one. This is the worst one I see right now. Is almost a Milford Lake. This is a tornado warning, and again, it's Doppler radar indicated. The hook echo on this is just a couple of miles north of Chapman, getting to the northeast part of Dickinson County, and is maybe 10 miles southwest of Milford. I'm going to give you a distance on that from the town of Milford to the actual tornado here. Let's hit now on this and back up to, I'm going to zoom it back in so I can see the town. So Milford, you're not more than maybe 10 minutes away from this thing getting into town from you. So I'll pan it down here and they'll give you a distance. So from Milford to this potential tornado and the strong sign of rotation right there, you've got a potential tornado right there. That would be debris right there if it is. You are 9, maybe 10 miles away from this tornado. And it's moving northeast at 40 to 50 miles per hour. All right, somebody reporting rotation near Ogden. So that doesn't mean tornado, but rotation in the clouds is certainly something we want to pay attention to. That's the other storm. So near Ogden, some rotation just reported. That warning for Pottawatomie County expires in, 6 minutes here. So we'll see if that gets extended. But the rotation here for this one, getting almost over Milford Lake in the next few moments and getting close to the town of Milford in the next 10 minutes, maybe 12 minutes at the most. So if you're in Milford, take shelter right now. This is coming toward you. It's a well-formed rotation that is heading toward Milford at this point on the radar. The hook echo has been persistent on this, and I think I might see the funnel here on from the Chapman exit at this point. All right, so back on the radar, there we go. That's the Chapman exit, and right here on the right side of this, it's hiding behind the pole here, but that may be a funnel there. That's certainly the wall cloud on the right side, kind of right here in this part of this. That's where we're looking right there in this part of the storm. Just north of Chapman. So I don't see a tornado on the ground right now, but if it touches down, it's that part of this storm that's moving northeast of Chapman and going toward Milford at this point. There's the Milford exit, and they have that still pointed at the highway, but they have this one pointed over here trying to pick out this wall cloud and rotation that is right there, kind of the northeast of Chapman. So if you're in Milford, as I mentioned, Milford, take shelter right now. You guys have pictures coming in from the website of this thing by chance?
Just a couple of cloud formations.
Okay.
Nothing that's going to give us any indication that a tornado touched down.
That's fine. Okay.
Anything like that.
All right, Milford, the most important thing right now, Milford, take shelter right now. If you are near Milford or near Milford Lake, especially the middle and north parts of the lake, you are the closest to this potential tornado. Again, as I was looking just a moment ago here at the KDOT camera, the thing is now fully behind that pole, so you can't see it at all. But going toward Milford Lake here is where the most dangerous part of that storm is going to be, toward Milford, the town of Milford, and the north end of Milford Lake.
All right, we have a new update on that particular warning. So it is located over Milford Lake, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour, and Junction City, Wakefield, Milford, and Milford Lake are still in the path of this tornado-warned storm.
All right, thank you, Doug. All right, so this storm is over Milford Lake or close to it. And you can see the hook echo. This is it. That's the dangerous part of it right there, getting over the west side of Milford Lake. The town of Milford need to be taking shelter immediately. Right now, take shelter there in the town of Milford. The northern storm, we had the tornado warning issued a while ago for going till 8:30 for Pottawatomie County. That goes for 3 more minutes. The town of Onega was so close to this. We had a report a few minutes ago of some rotation in the clouds over Onega. Rotation does not mean tornado all the time. We have a lot of clouds rotate going overhead that don't do anything. This storm has a history of producing a tornado near Ogden a little while ago. So it has produced a tornado, and right now we continue with the tornado warning for it. And for the National Weather Service, looking at the storm here, to make a decision on whether to continue it or not into Nemaha County is what they have to wrestle with, because it's in the dark now. It's in an area that's fairly rural. There's population up there, but it's not as dense as other spots. And looking at the velocity, it's hard to pick out what part of this is really rotating and could produce a tornado. So somebody reported rotation a few minutes ago. It may just be spinning clouds or scary looking clouds, or what you call it sometimes, but that near Onega and Havensville, I don't see a lot of potential there for that. We'll see in the next 2 minutes if they cancel or extend that warning for Pottawatomie County. Either one of those would be an option. But right now, this thing that's going toward Milford is certainly by far the more impressive storm structure, and it is not particularly close to the radar. So this being at this distance from radar, it's not that far, I guess. But seeing a hook echo that well defined, getting close to Milford, I'm telling you, Milford, you need to take shelter right now there, as this could touch down any time if it's not already. The reports we've seen so far are that there was a wall cloud with it, there's rotation with it, and I don't think that it's on the ground at this point. If it was, it's not doing it at this very moment. But looking back from the Chapman camera, they've turned this now from I-70, exit 286. There's the pole that things hang on, so they've turned it now a little bit. So we saw that lowering or wall cloud there a moment ago. And if there's a tornado in this, if it happens, it's going to be right there in this area. So this is pointed right at where this would be if it's going to touch down. So at this point, I don't see it down, but the signs on the radar there are that it is a very powerful storm with enough rotation that it could touch down at any time. So other areas like Topeka, Emporia,
Dickinson County Emergency Management is reporting 3-inch diameter hail with the supercell moving over Milford Lake.
Okay, Milford Lake, 3-inch diameter hail. Isaac, you need a push notification that. There is 3-inch diameter hail with this going over Milford Lake at this time. That is bigger than a baseball. So the hail on this, 3 inches in diameter, 2.75 is the official diameter for baseball size hail. If it's 2.75, they call it baseball size hail. I don't see hail showing up on the storm tracker here at all, but the emergency management is reporting hail 3 inches diameter, just over the size of a baseball, going toward Milford right now. So in Milford, in the town of Milford, all around Milford Lake, if you're there, please stay inside, take shelter. If we have hail there that's that big, it's going to break out some windows. That's a real possibility with this. I'm going to go back to hail zone and see if I can get some data to pop up on this again. There we go. So it's showing hail. It's not showing it 3 inches diameter, and it may have intensified. That's a real possibility for this. This data product actually comes in a couple of moments behind the actual radar. So where it's showing the data lags behind because it ingests a whole bunch of stuff from around different parts of the nation, and it generally runs a couple of minutes behind showing you what's up. So it's showing the big hail there. It may have intensified as it got a little farther to the north, but in Milford, we have the indication there from emergency management. They say that they have hail bigger than a baseball that's falling from this. That's extremely dangerous. You don't want to be outside in that at all. Don't get outside trying to take a picture of this. If we get a video of this from the camera from KDOT there, we'll certainly let you know. At this point, I don't see it down. It's still back to the northeast of Chapman. But the town of Milford and the town of Wakefield, you are in danger of big hail in Wakefield. The town of Milford, you're in danger of a tornado and big hail. Both of those are possible. Or if you know anybody camping at Milford Lake or fishing out there or whatever right now, that's going to be dangerous right now. Fort Riley, you're on the edge of the tornado warning. The only way it gets to Fort Riley is if it makes a right turn, which sometimes tornadoes can do. But Milford, take shelter right now. You could have a tornado in the town of Milford in the next 5 minutes here. To the north, they let the tornado warning go for Pottawatomie County. It has been canceled. It expired at 8:30, so just letting you know what's up with this. The area up here around Onega, there's still some spin in the cloud. Matter of fact, the part of the cloud up here near Seneca over to Axtell, that looks impressive to me, and there's more of a hook starting to show up there in northeast Pottawatomie County. Heads up for the southern part of Nemaha County. We may have a problem with you shortly. That's a possibility.
4-inch hail 7 miles north of Moonlight a couple minutes ago.
4-inch diameter hail, okay. So let's go back over to our camera here and see what we've got from the Chapman exit there. And again, you can see kind of the lowering there and the downpour of rain. The storm is getting farther from the camera, but you can kind of start to pick it out there.
We do have this picture that came in at 8:28.
Go ahead, take Doug's.
I'm going to show the touchscreen.
Take Doug, please.
So we have this picture. Give it a second here. And the picture is going to be looking towards Milford. So this is from McKenzie a couple minutes ago. This was taken at 8:28. And you can see a little bit of that lowering in the Milford area. So certainly something that will be definitely looking to be mindful of. It looks like they canceled the tornado warning for Riley County, but we'll continue it for the Clay, Dickinson, and Gary County warning.
All right, thank you, Doug. Let's go back to the other computer now, and I'm watching this storm. We got a couple looks at it on radar. It's got a strong sign of rotation still. That's is that the right source? I think you guys are having me. That's the other radar. That's on Max 2. Give me a Max 1, please. Max 1. There you go. Thank you. All right. So back over the radar. There's the lowering there that's close to Milford at this point, and this tornado warning. They have cropped this off. It's not as big of an area as it was a few minutes ago, but the rotation still showing up very clearly there on the radar. Just right on track to go straight toward Milford. So if you're in the town of Milford, we've been talking about you for a while now. Now it's time. And you can see 4-inch diameter hail is the problem with this, and a potential tornado that could touch down at any time. So if you're there in Milford, please take shelter right now. If you haven't already, I don't know what else we can tell you. Please take shelter. You are very close to a storm that could produce a tornado at any time. If it's not doing it already right now. It's a real possibility with this storm. That's a very dangerous storm. It has a history of producing hail bigger than baseballs, and it's going to move into Milford the next few moments here. You are maybe 3 miles away from the tornado there in the town of Milford. I'll go back to now here, and I'll give you the distance from the rotation. And you are not more than, from the debris here, what that would be, maybe 2 miles away, and it's moving 50 miles per hour. Milford, take shelter immediately. Don't check on Facebook or wherever to try to verify this is going on, or call friends and family to ask questions. A lot of times people will have to think about it before they take shelter. If you're in Milford, take shelter right now. Don't do anything else. Don't grab anything. Just take shelter right now, because if it's coming into Milford, it's going to do it right now. It's not going to be a few minutes from now. It's now. Milford, take shelter immediately. If you're there in town, this is right on top of you, and could touch down at any moment if it's not already doing it. So I think it's rain wrapped at this point. If it's down, it is impossible for me to see from the weather cameras that are over in that area. And I'm going to see the update here from a couple minutes ago. They dropped Riley, and we got that part. They continued Dickinson, Gary. And as Doug was mentioning, 4-inch diameter hail possible with this. So that's softball size. Hail the size of a softball is possible with this, and it's getting into Milford at this moment. If it does touch down, it's doing it right now or in the next few seconds. Milford, take shelter. the best I can tell you is you have got to take shelter there immediately. Go back to velocity here and see how that looks. And the rotation for this is right there where the hook echo is, right on top of Milford, of course. Milford, take shelter. I'm going to say this over and over again. Milford, take shelter. Milford, take shelter. If you're in the town of Milford, take shelter immediately. This could be a tornado that touches down at any moment if it hasn't already done it there. Doug was showing you the pictures of it. The folks from emergency management said they had softball-sized hail with this. The weather cameras over there, very difficult to see because this thing is going to be rain-wrapped. That's where it's going to be, looking from the Chapman exit 286 on I-70. It's a rain-wrapped storm. It's a hail-wrapped storm, to be more accurate, I guess, with hail the size of softballs, a possibility out of this. So again, that really could touch down any time there in the town of Milford. And from what I see on the radar, it could touch down any time. But the images we had so far of it, I don't see it as down, but it certainly could touch down. So in Milford, you at least have softball-sized hail, baseball to softball-sized hail with this, and also the possibility of a tornado touching down, which looks like it's going to be in or just past Milford at this moment. We're going to check the debris mode and see if we have anything flying there. And I surely hope we don't see anything at all. That could be debris. Near Milford, that could be debris that's showing up on radar. It's not a strong sign, but some of those blues mixed in, that could be debris flying around Milford. I hope not. I think if it touches down, somebody's going to tell us that they're seeing it over there. Emergency management, the weather service, one of them will confirm it. At this point, it's still Doppler radar indicated. All right, so
looks like they're going to expire the tornado warning.
Good.
What are we at here? 8:45. The low-level rotation no longer looks capable of a tornado in Riley and northern Geary County, but still has some mid-level rotation and a history of dropping very large hail.
So they're dropping the whole thing?
It looks like it, yeah, because those are the only counties that are in the warning. Yeah, so it looks like not canceling, but it will expire at 8:45.
Okay. All right, so the tornado warning for northeast Dickinson, northwest Geary, and southeastern Clay expires at 8:45. Okay. Tornado threat has diminished. The tornado warning has been canceled. However, large hail and damaging winds remain likely, and a severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for the area. Large hail still possible with this storm. Tornado watch goes to 11. Just don't quite understand that. Okay, so still has a rotation with it. If you're in Milford, you're still taking shelter. If nothing else, take shelter because of the hail risk. Just stay inside. If this thing comes in with strong winds and hail that big, it can knock out windows. If you're in Milford, I want you taking shelter right now anyway. Give me 5 more minutes. If you're in Milford, give me 5 more minutes of taking shelter, and then come on out if you want to. Just please, if you're in Milford, close to Highway 77 there, you are just so close to this thing, and it looks to me like it's even moving out of that warning box. That's part of it. It's moving out of the box it was in. All right, so they have a severe thunderstorm warning for the other part of this going up into Riley and Leonardville. So the severe thunderstorm warning with this, I'm going to check out the text on this. So this is where they're saying 4-inch diameter hail for this and moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. This is a destructive storm for Milford Lake and central Riley County. So the tornado warning goes to 8:45. They're going to drop it. It's moving out of the box, out of the warning area anyway. Milford, again, give me 5 more minutes here. 4 minutes. We'll say 4 minutes. Give me that long in Milford. Just stay inside for that much longer and taking shelter. The town of Riley, if you're in Riley, now you have the big hail coming your way. So Riley, Leonardville, hail the size of a softball is possible for you. Softball-sized hail was reported near Upland at 8:30, so just a few minutes ago. And the storm is moving toward Riley and Leonardville at 8:40. So stay inside while this thing moves by. So this is not a problem for folks in Manhattan. This is a problem for the towns of Riley and Leonardville. In Milford, if you're still taking shelter in Milford, the warning is being canceled. It goes to 8:45, but it's being canceled early. So if you're in Milford, I'm okay with you coming out now if you want to. The warning's officially been canceled. If you're in Milford, if you want to go outside and take pictures of hailstones, I'd love to see what you have, and I feel confident that you're safe in the city limits of Milford at this point. So in Milford, you're all right there now. If you're in Leonardville and Riley, you are not quite clear of that storm. As a matter of fact, it's moving your way with very big hail, and the possibility, it's not a tornado warning at this point for Leonardville, Riley, but we'll have to watch for it just in case. All right, let's zoom in on this again. And the only tornado, we don't have any tornado warnings now.
It looks like we're in the clear right now for tornadoes.
There's no tornado warnings now. They're going to drop this one from the map here in just a moment. The problem we have right now is a severe thunderstorm warning with hail to 4 inches diameter for Leonardville and Riley. That's extremely destructive, and it's very rare. You don't see 4-inch diameter hail very often, and that can do a lot of damage. I'm going to check out the reports here and show you where the official reports of the big hail happened. We did have the report earlier of the tornado touching down from near the Ogden airport, and let's check and see if I can see where these hail reports are. I don't see it necessarily there on this map, but it was just southwest of Milford a few minutes ago from the emergency management there, is where they said they had hail that was up to 4 inches diameter.
It should be just to the west, northwest of Junction City.
There's 3-inch diameter hail. There's 0.9, and let's see, this one, that's 1. And what we got there? This is a 1. So 3 inches diameter was reported at this one right there near Moonlight is the report we had a while ago. But 4 inches diameter reported also by emergency management there. We had a report earlier of a tornado touching down near the Ogden airport. And now the problem we have with this is the big hail up to 4 inches in diameter that is moving toward Riley and Leonardville. And the National Weather Service says they don't see rotation with this like they did a few minutes ago. But the big hail is still there. Bridge, you talking to me? Okay, all right, so we've got the hail up to 4 inches diameter possible there, and I don't think it's even that large anymore. If it is, I wouldn't say it's bigger than a golf ball at this time. I'm going to check it again and just see what size the hail is. Then we'll go back to programming. Now we're out of tornado warnings again, and we'll continue with the live stream, of course. If there's hail with this, it's close to it's just north of Milford. We'll loop this and see where it's going. And again, just north of Milford, approaching Riley and Leonardville, that's where we have possibly a large hail. But the tornado warning with this is now expired. It was actually letting it go early. It still has a hook echo with it. I'm assuming that we have enough storm chasers under it that don't see it touching down, that they feel confident letting it go. All right, so the threat's not over. The tornado watch goes until 11 p.m. Let's go back to programming on 13.1. We'll continue live streaming on WIBW.com. I'd like to live stream all the way through the 9 o'clock show. So let's send 13.1 back to where it goes. We'll continue live streaming on WIBW.com, Facebook, and YouTube if you want to watch continuously. For now, go back to WIBW TV programming. We'll break back in with more updates as they become available. If you have any tornado warnings, we'll stay on continuously. So stay with us, keep you safe and informed. All right, those of you still with us on the stream right now, we don't have any tornado warnings in effect for northeast Kansas. So if we don't have a tornado warning, we're not going to stay on continuously on 13.1. For a while, we had 2 different tornado warnings going. This tornado warning, it still says tornado warning here near Milford, but it expires at 8:45, which is a moment from now. And the National Weather Service, they were dropping it a couple minutes earlier because they didn't see enough rotation with it. So it may not have rotation that's down low. They could get it to the contact with the ground. But it was making a wall cloud, and we had reports of a very big hail with it. So hopefully that is an indication that other storms forming in this environment also won't get down. But the storm that's now up here in Nemaha County, this one did produce a tornado near the Ogden airport a while ago. And we're still watching these other storms to the south that are likely to become severe as they move up here. We will see. Down in the south in Oklahoma, we still have lots of storms that are severe. Did you guys hear me? I want to go through the 9 o'clock show and live stream. Is that possible? That's cool, I assume? Thank you. All right, down in the south in Oklahoma, we have a big old line of severe storm warnings. And it looks like they just lumped them all into one. This line is pretty wild to look at. That's a severe storm warning for probably 100 miles long. Let's see what this actually says. There's several areas of rotation in this. Look at that thing, till 9 p.m.
I'm starting to get some hail pictures on here.
You are? Okay.
Yes.
Take Doug if you guys will.
So let me refresh this. And let's see here. So we've got... All right, so we've got Darla sending this in 6 miles northeast of Upland on the Clay-Geary County line. It looks like that's about 2 inches perhaps. And then further down, we got hail south of Wakefield at 8:30. That certainly looks at the very least baseball, if not softball size. And so, yeah, these very large hailstones definitely coming down and certainly getting that very large hail. Here's some clouds in Wakefield from the Wakefield storm 4 miles east of Riley. There's some more clouds, wall cloud over Fort Riley as well. And again, just as a reminder that you can send in your pictures on WIBW.com/weather and go to the pictures section. So let me close this so we can restart on how to do it. So when you go to WIBW.com/weather, click on the weather pictures at the top, and then you would come to here to add the media and upload your photos from your computer, your desktop, or whatever it is, and fill out the information. Obviously, time and location are going to be the best ways for us to know when these storms were moving into the area. And so if there's something immediately that we would need to show from a storm, that we would show it right away on air on the screen here. Obviously, first and foremost, be safe from these storms. We don't want you going outside and putting yourself in danger from taking pictures of these storms. So just please be careful of that, but certainly welcome all pictures from this way or from uploading it from the app on either the WIBW weather app or the news app that you can upload your photos there as well. And that way we can show it on air. We can't show pictures that are on social media like Twitter or Facebook because of copyright issues. So this is the way to do it because you are actually agreeing that you are allowing us to share it on air. So just be aware of that if you want your pictures shown either on air or on this live stream like this. Jeremy?
All right, Doug, thank you. So you guys hear me? I'll turn off. It's off. Yeah. I turned it off so I could have a bite of food. Sorry. All right, outside right now from Can Drive. Actually, that's the view from Manhattan is what that is. So in Manhattan, things have calmed down a lot. We had the tornado warnings all over the place a little while ago, and now things have calmed down. We have severe storm warnings at this point in a couple of spots. Hail up to 2 inches diameter is still what they're mentioning with this storm that is to the north of Manhattan at this point, and moving toward, let's see, we have Randolph and Riley up there, Leonardville, 2-inch diameter hail with this. You know, from radar, this does not look like something's producing massive hail to me, but clearly it did at some point. The rotation on this, if it starts to go tornado again, we're looking at moving across the north end of Tuttle Creek Lake. So keep that in mind if you're in that area. That's the part of this that's spinning and suspicious if it was going to do anything like that. It doesn't look like the spin is that aggressive, and I think the dew points down low are probably going to prohibit it from becoming a surface-based storm, my guess, from what I'm seeing from the data there. All right, I'm going to go to the, I want to see the dew point values as well here. And there's the model data. That's the new HRRR coming in, I'm sure. If I can get my computer to jump forward here and give me more graphics. That's what we have tonight. Again, the tornado watch goes till 11 p.m. And here's the map I was trying to get to. And I believe the dew points are not as high in those areas farther to the north. Let's see where this kind of drops off. So dew point values, once they get down to mid-50s on a day like this, they're much less likely to start producing tornadoes. Take a moment for my graphic to load here. So there we go. We have a dew point of 57 in Manhattan, but to Emporia and Topeka still have dew points of 67 degrees each. So with that kind of numbers for dew points, the likelihood of us continuing with the tornado threat for a couple of hours is still there. If those numbers in Topeka and Emporia came down, you might see the tornado watch being cropped back more significantly. But right now we still have this risk. And I want to see where the tornado watch is actually in place now. I'm pretty sure they've kept most of it, if not all of it so far.
Yeah, they haven't canceled any watches yet.
Okay.
I would still think that maybe this line from Concordia down towards Salina could potentially produce something.
Okay. So we got dew points in the mid-60s in Topeka, upper 60s, Topeka, Emporia, Wichita. So we still have a significant moisture in place. Moisture is a bit lower to the west, but they've kept the tornado watch going to 11 p.m. for Manhattan, Concordia, and Marysville. As Doug was mentioning, we still have big, strong storms developing around Concordia. This storm is severe in northern Riley County and western parts of Pottawatomie County. but the moisture content is the highest kind of right over here. So the highest probability of seeing a more dangerous storm is going to be where those dew points are pushing 70. So farther to the south, these storms in Greenwood County are still building northward pretty aggressively into the higher humidity. So you could even see embedded tornadoes and that stuff, but that's a radar indicated severe storm warning that includes a bunch of Greenwood County and goes until 9:45 p.m. So we will see what happens with that. But Burlington, Emporia, you're about to get just absolutely washed out with extreme rain coming your way shortly here. And we'll see if you wind up with a tornado situation or not. But certainly the moisture content there is extremely high to the south of Emporia where those rain showers are coming in. And I'll be watching those at the camera just south of Emporia, looking south from Emporia as that moves in. I still expect to see storms popping up near Council Grove. As you look at the cam here from Emporia, I'm looking south toward these big storms that are coming in from the south toward Lyon County. This stuff it's in Greenwood County right now is not considered tornadic or anything like that, but it's in the area that has the highest likelihood of producing damaging storms if something was to go. Most likely we would see it be more likely from individual storm cells instead of a big cluster and line like we have right there just from Greenwood County, but we'll be watching this as well. You can see lightning just south of Emporia now, and it won't be long before we have heavy rain moving into the city. So again, that's not a severe storm in Lyon County yet, but the storm that's south of Lyon County and Greenwood County that's building north is heading toward areas like Burlington, heading north toward Emporia, and you're likely to see severe storm warnings out of this more than likely. I don't know if you see a tornado warning out of there or not, but if the storms can get more isolated in fashion, you certainly could, and the moisture content is still significantly high there with those dew points in the upper 60s, which is definitely plenty to cause a lot of troubles with a storm like this. All right, now on the velocity, I'm watching the stuff around Nemaha County, because this is a storm that had the history of producing a tornado near Ogden earlier. And now as it moves into Nemaha County, I don't see a lot of well-defined rotation in this. If something's spinning, it's near Goff. It looks like there's probably a shelf cloud in there at this point from the shape I see there on radar. So from Sabetha to Goff and Wetmore, this is probably producing strong winds, 60 miles per hour. Hail the size of quarters possible with this. And if it was to produce something that would be more dangerous, you're looking down toward Goff and Wetmore is going to be the suspicious part of that if it produces anything that's a higher end. The storms coming up toward Lyon County and coming toward Coffee County are the ones that have the higher moisture content, the potential to be more significant. So we will see if they actually fill in and cause any more tornado warning problems. But we'll still have the tornado watch going until 11 o'clock for really all of northeast Kansas, which is only 2 hours from now, of course. So we'll see if we have any more tornado warnings or not. We certainly could. I want to look at the stuff to the south that's coming from Oklahoma and see if it's blocking off any of the energy from coming our way. We still have the very powerful negatively tilted jet stream. There we go, more storms, more tornado warnings in southern Kansas, even embedded in the heavier rain. So this is probably not done with at this point. All right, so that's going to be in Chautauqua and Elk County, Kansas. That's a radar indicated tornado warning embedded in areas of where it's kind of widespread rain. So my hope that this would kind of shut down once we got these going it just doesn't look like it's shutting down yet. We've got more widespread storms down the south in Oklahoma, one tornado warning that's maybe 40 miles northwest of Oklahoma City, but the fact that we have this new tornado warning showing up here on the Kansas side of the state line gives me it looks like it's going to continue for at least a while here. Now we have more of those things developing. Let's see the rotation on this, how impressive it is. There it is. That's it.
Riley County Emergency Management reporting baseball sites hail north of Riley.
North of town of Riley. Wow. Okay. So that storm that we were watching earlier that went over Milford that had hail up to the size of softballs is now producing hail the size of baseballs near the town. You said Riley?
Yep.
Okay, so there it is. And this is a severe storm warning again. And that thing is near the town of Riley. It said hail the size of baseballs, at least close to Riley. So 2-inch diameter hail is what the warning says. And we'll check out the reports there and see if it shows up in the storm spotter reports yet. But near the town of Riley, baseball size hail reported just a few minutes ago. Bridge, if you guys have another national break, holler at me again and I'll cover it, please. Okay, so we'll have a national break here in 2 minutes. And the National Weather Service extending the warning on that. Isaac, if you want to kick out a push, you can say baseball size hail heading toward Oldsburg. That'd be a good one to send out. And this thing still has a hook with it, but it's also an area where the dew points are in the upper 50s. So my thinking on this is they probably are not sold on dropping the watch yet in that area because of the high-end hail potential, but the dew point in the upper 50s is less likely to produce a tornado, fortunately. But we're watching it. So we'll have a live cut in here on TV in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching me, you'll see that. That's why I'm kind of taking a half break here as I'm watching things to put on TV here. So, about 1 minute away. I'm ready. All right, thanks for staying with us here on WIBW TV. We're still streaming on WIBW.com, Facebook, YouTube as well, of course. What we have now is a severe storm warning that produced hail the size of baseballs just near Riley, the town of Riley a few minutes ago, moving toward Randolph and Oldsburg. This is not a tornado warning, but it's very, very big hail heading toward Oldsburg. You should take shelter immediately, stay inside as that storm passes by. Looking at a little wider, we still have a storm in Nemaha County producing winds to 60 miles per hour, and the tornado threat still exists. We have the tornado watch until 11 p.m. for all of northeast Kansas. Looking down here along the Oklahoma state line, that's a tornado warning in Chautauqua and Elk County, Kansas, that's embedded in heavy rain and is still moving north toward areas like Coffee County and Lyon County. So we're not done with the tornado threat just yet. Again, we have hail the size of baseballs possible in parts of Riley and Pottawatomie County, 60-mile-per-hour winds up here in Nemaha County and Brown County that has some spin to it, and more tornadoes to the south that are heading in our direction. So stay with us on the live stream all evening. We're going to be there. We'll have a forecast on 13 News at 10. We'll break in here on 13.1 anytime we have tornado warnings or extreme weather does happen. Stay with us. We'll keep you safe and informed. Thank you. Thank you for staying with us here on the live stream. And if you're watching us on my TV, we are going to continue the live weather coverage on my TV through the what would normally be the show. Again, we have hail the size of baseballs reported a few minutes ago near the town of Riley by emergency management. That is this storm right here, and an arrow covers. That thing's not that big, but it's been producing hail the size of softballs and baseballs.
Yeah, we certainly have some
large
hail pictures here.
Go to Doug, show the pictures, please.
All right, so here we go. Here's outside of Riley, Kansas. This was at 8:56, so almost 4 minutes ago from Monica. So you can see some of the large hailstones that has fallen in the Riley area. That's a little bit smaller one in Riley, but certainly have had some big ones there. Some clouds around the St. George area about an hour ago. Let's see, here's some. There's a rain shaft there just east of Riley about 10 minutes ago. And some more cloud pictures or some more hail down here. So here we got 2-inch diameter hail 3 miles southeast of Wakefield. And some more heavy or large hail in the Milford area. So you get the idea that here's a cool lightning shot here just near Milford to 832 from Clay Center. So getting some big hail reports. Continue to send in those pictures, of course, on WIBW.com. And we can upload those pictures and be able to show it to you on air and on streaming and being able to share those and see those big hail reports that have continued to come in as we head through the next couple of hours.
All right, thank you, Doug. So we still have severe storm warnings in several areas. The tornado watch goes all the way until 11 o'clock, and the tornado threat's not done with. From what I see, we have dew points that are dropping off into the mid-50s to the northwest of Manhattan. Dew points are still in the upper 60s for Topeka and Emporia, and we still have tornado warnings down to the south in southeast parts of Kansas, where we've had several tornado warnings down there, and that activity is still moving to the north toward us. So you have to watch this stuff down here. It's not done. And you know, the other thing to watch here is we're seeing tornado warnings embedded in the rain. So even though we get the heavy rain in some areas, we're still seeing tornado warnings back in the rain. It's not just isolated cells that are producing tornadoes or tornado warnings. You've got this tornado warning here. There's one right there in Chautauqua and Elk County. I'm not sure what county this is in Oklahoma, but it's across the state line. And that's another tornado warning that's really embedded there back in the rain. So the upper level energy, the jet stream winds, actually come back toward Kansas City and then turn and head back up toward Montana. That's part of what's making this rotate, make the storms rotate, producing super big hail, of course. So, you know, we have the tornado watch till 11 o'clock, and, you know, I was starting to feel like maybe we were getting close to done with this, but as long as these dew points are in the upper 60s in Topeka and Emporia and the jet stream energy is still there, and the low-level jet stream is likely to start kicking in and causing problems as well here. You know, this isn't done with yet. So we got to watch that stuff that's coming out of Oklahoma and southeast Kansas that's building our way as well. The later we get into the night, probably better, but go ahead, Doug.
Well, I'm looking at our chat, and you know, we're getting people asking about cities. We just don't know.
Right.
We really don't know. I mean, I would love to go home right now. I would say that, you know, we may not get another tornado warning, you know, and if there is, you know, Daniel and Jeremy are here, they can handle it, but you just never know what's going to happen. So that's why I'm continuing to monitor this. Maybe I'll go home in an hour if nothing else happens, at least, but we're not done until at least 11 o'clock with that watch. And who knows, they may extend the watch if there's storms still near the area, and those dew points are still remaining high. So if you want to go to bed, fine. Make sure you have your weather radio or weather app that can wake you up, that if a warning does get over in your area, that it can wake you up and you can go to shelter. So certainly you can go to bed if you want, but have that warning to be able to wake you up and be ready to go if you need to. But we certainly are keeping an eye on it. Nothing immediate, nothing in the immediate future on a possible tornado, just the large hail are associated with these storms, but we're not out of the woods yet.
All right, thank you, Doug. So here's the radar across the area, and we're seeing the storm in Nemaha County. This one has winds to 60 miles per hour, as they're mentioning with this. This storm that's in Pottawatomie and Riley County was broken on TV with that one on 13-1. And the possibility of that still hail the size of baseball is just absolutely unbelievable that hail that big can fall out of a storm cloud. But Doug showed you several pictures of extremely big hail out of that. So here it is heading toward Oldsburg now for the worst part of this. Again, baseball size hail, winds to 60 are the mentions there. And if you're looking at it and saying, wow, that looks like a hook echo, why isn't it a tornado? I really think it's because dew points are in the mid-50s in this area. So when you get dew points that high, the system like this, most likely it's an elevated storm, meaning it's not surface-based, which can make them worse. But in this case, I think that storm's probably going to be in an area where the low-level moisture is not adequate to produce a tornado, even though it looks scary on radar. Now, to the south, this stuff that's in southeast Kansas and down into northwest Oklahoma, we are seeing tornado potential down here. And you're going to see these white polygons. There's even more of them now. They're really starting to get a bunch of them in Oklahoma. Several of those are Doppler radar indicators. There's a tornado warning up here in Iowa now. So, you know, it's not, we're kind of surrounded again. But down to Oklahoma, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3 different tornado warnings, and one in southeast Kansas that's in Chautauqua and Osage County. And this activity is moving north. And you can see this is in a bow segment here. There's a tornado warning associated with the north side of that bow, but our dew points are still in the upper 60s, and this moisture is still feeding northward. I really think we're going to have more severe storm warnings, possibly more tornado warnings this evening or late tonight. It's still a possibility. So this is the latest on Supercast. I'm going to have to look on the web here and see if this matches up with the 0Z model data. But showing Topeka and storms at 9, that's just not the case. There's 10 p.m. Storms over in Lawrence. So this model, if that's the latest HRR, is not ingesting well at all. So check this out really fast. See what I've got.
Let's see, the onesie actually should be coming in here shortly too. And let's see, the onesie is actually looking not too bad.
More in line with what's really happening.
Let's see if I can even
When the computer models, sometimes they'll ingest and not look like reality at all. It's what's actually happening. So then you have to kind of go back and reevaluate what's going on. All right, so that's 8, 9. Yeah, we're not raining in Topeka yet, so that doesn't make sense at this point. All right, go back to the radar. There's the model actually that I was looking at from the College of DuPage. That's what their website is. I can just check out the latest computer model on that. And again, I don't see it storming in Topeka yet. Dew point's 67 in Topeka. Emporia is still 67. So we have plenty of moisture in place. The tornado watch goes till 11 o'clock for really most of northeast Kansas, all of northeast Kansas. And we have a dew point drop off a bit from Manhattan to Concordia, where dew points are in the upper 50s. So the tornado risk is lower the farther northwest you go, but they are not letting it go just yet. And if you had something producing baseball-sized hail, keeping the watch makes sense. There's no real great motivation to drop it if it's still producing hail the size of a baseball. But down here, there's an absolute downpour of rain in Greenwood County that's creeping up toward Coffee County. And the thing I was watching the model for is to see if we get any of this stuff that actually starts to spin and goes almost due north instead of this north-northeast trajectory it's on. If this all continues going northeast, then it's Lawrence and Kansas City to get this downpour and a tornado risk. If it starts curving more straight north with a low-level jet, or if the shortwave negatively tilted trough get involved, start pulling stuff almost straight north or even northwest, then that's what's been concerning me, is if we started getting into that kind of thing tonight. So I'm going to check this model again and see what kind of motion it has on stuff. Still just has it going basically due east, which doesn't really match up with reality to me. Yeah, it's just the HRRR wants to take everything just almost straight east.
Are you able to pull up our short-term IBM computer model in there? Do you have that?
I don't have it in here. Yeah, I don't have that at the moment.
Sometimes
Can you bring it up on yours?
Sometimes it's still not as great as
the graph, the IBM graph. All right, so we're still seeing tornado warnings down to the south in Chautauqua, Elk County, Kansas, and this stuff is building to the northeast, and you can see it better on this kind of wider version, where it's starting to cover more Greenwood County than it was a few minutes ago. You're seeing storms showing up in Coffee County on this because I'm on a composite of several different radars. So while it's not actually raining there just yet, the storm's getting closer there at this point. So it looked like there was rain in Coffee County. I don't think it's actually making it to that area just yet. But I'm trying to figure out from this if I really think that we're going to see more severe weather getting farther to the north or not. So that's what we're kind of analyzing here, is if we think that the threat's getting lower at this point, or if it really continues. Now, areas farther to the south, like Emporia and areas like Burlington, I'm still confident you're going to see severe weather this evening and tonight. I'm just really curious at this point if we get it to Topeka and Holton and areas like Osage City as we get later in the evening. And it's still a possibility. There's the tornado watch right now for, wow, lightning in Emporia is crazy. Tornado watch till 11 p.m. for all of northeast Kansas still. I'll show you the lightning from Emporia in just a moment here. So we have the warning that's in place for Pottawatomie County. Hail the size of baseballs reported with that thing. We have a tornado warning in western Iowa at this point. And watching is, now Burlington is getting heavy rain now, so it's filling in there. I'm curious to see, does this stuff continue moving northeast? Because the difference between straight north or northeast on this is going to be, whether or not Topeka and Oskaloosa wind up with a tornado risk tonight, or if it winds up just being, several rounds of heavy rain. But areas like Burlington and Emporia, you're going to have to deal with probably some rotating storms for the next hour or two. From what I see here on the radar, it's just a question of whether stuff starts to go more straight north, or if it stays with this north-northeast trajectory, which is certainly possible too. I'll show you this lightning in Emporia, and it's very intense there. There's no warning in Emporia or Burlington. It's just one county south of both those locations. We'll check out the live look from the Emporia cam provided by ValueNet Fiber, and I love this camera. It's actually 4K, so when I put it in the 4K mode, I can see so much detail with this thing. And at night, you can even put it over into infrared. This camera in Emporia is just absolutely amazing. You do all kinds of things with this. Right now what I can do is show you have a lot of lightning to your south from Lyon County, and and tell you that you're probably going to have a severe storm shortly there in Lyon County. And from what I see, what's there is not spinning, but the stuff just to the south of there, across the Kansas and Oklahoma state line, there is still a lot of spin in those areas down farther to the south. I'll bring the camera up again if I can. There you go. So again, downpour is just south of Emporia, and you can see just a very active lightning display south of town. That's looking across the lightning there is just amazing. I've seen a lot of amazing lightning from this camera over the years, but that's looking south from near Industrial Road and Highway 50. And if you haven't seen this location before, making me more familiar with it, this is the Lyon County Fairgrounds, kind of right here. That's Lyon County Fairgrounds right in this area here, and that's Highway 50 through town. This is Industrial Road, and Tyson is over in this area. The railroad tracks are kind of over here, as well as the Cottonwood River. So that's where you're looking, is to the southeast. So that the majority of that lightning is moving toward Osage County at this point, but in Lyon County you're still seeing just a ton of lightning there in the sky. It's not a severe storm warning yet in Lyon County, but most likely you'll have one soon, probably going to be based on hail the size of quarters or winds to 60. But down to the south, you can see tornado warnings are still in place over a lot of areas in southeast Kansas into northeast Oklahoma. And all these white polygons you see on there are the tornado warnings. So here's one. There's a tornado warning there. This is a tornado warning here for Chautauqua and Elk County going until 9:30, and that's moving to the northeast. We'll see what the velocity looks like and the rotation in this thing. And again, that's not in the WIBW viewing area. I don't know of anybody down the Oklahoma state line that's watching our signal. If you are, welcome. Thank you for watching. But the rotation on that is, there's a couple of different ones there actually coming in from the south moving north. There's even spin up here in the southeast part of Greenwood County. Yeah, there's all kinds of rotation in these storms. My goodness, that's a negatively tilted trough just causes so many problems with these. All right, go back to the Wichita radar, see if the Topeka radar can see that far south. Not really. The Wichita radar, you can see several areas of spin in here, several different things in there that could be potential tornadoes. And there's plenty of moisture in that, so we're going to have to continue to watch this. That thing getting just south of Coffee County, there's a lot of different areas of spin in there. So I was looking at, I mentioned Coffee County just now. Here's Burlington up here, and you can see a spin right here, this, as it gets right there to the north part of Woodson County, almost into the southwest part of Coffee County. That's enough spin to justify leaning forward on it. There's spin down here in the southeast part of Greenwood County. You can see it's a couple of areas that just kind of dominate each other. I'm not sure if that's just going to be strong winds, but there are definitely several eddies in there of strong straight line winds and areas where there's almost surely enough rotation that we at least have to continue watching it for potential tornado warnings. All right, so right now we have severe storm warnings that go all the way up to the south edge of the WIBW viewing area. Technically, the Nielsen ratings, if you ever heard of that, they give us our DMA, our designated market area. So our designated area goes to Lyon County and Coffee County. Chase County is Wichita, so K-Wich covers them, and I will cover them as well here often as well. We prioritize the counties that are technically in our DMA. Dickinson County, for example, is not in the WIBW DMA, or viewing area as it's called. But we did cover the storm coming past Abilene, even though it wasn't in our technical DMA, because it makes sense. It's a tornado warning and coming into our coverage area, so giving you at least some heads up that it's coming. That just when I mentioned the southern edge of our viewing area, I'm just saying that Lyon County and Coffee are the south edge. That doesn't mean we're going to stop looking down there, because stuff is coming our direction, and it makes sense for us to tell Coffee County and Lyon County, hey, something's coming at you from the south. So what I see over here is more developments in the south side of this line, getting to McPherson County again. Now, this area I still think is where the dew points dropped off into the mid-50s, so that one may not become a nasty storm. And the stuff that goes from Clay Center to Salina, none of this is considered to be severe storm warnings at this point. So calming down in that aspect, that westmost line here does not have any tornado warnings with it, and hopefully will stay that way. All right, updates here from the Weather Service about Riley County. They are canceling the Riley County storm warning, and they're issuing a significant weather advisory for Coffee, Franklin, Osage. Significant weather advisory means it's pretty bad, but we're not quite sure enough to put a severe storm warning just yet. But we might.
Pottawatomie County is still receiving ping pong ball size hail. So
Okay.
Blaine and Oldsburg.
Okay. Blaine, Oldsburg, ping pong ball size hail. This storm has been an efficient ice maker. It has hail up to the size of ping pong balls for Blaine and Oldsburg, and then it's going to move over into, I believe that's Marshall County to the north. So this storm has been producing hail as big as softballs earlier near Milford, and then it was baseball size hail near Riley, and now it's ping pong ball size hail for Blaine and Oldsburg, and then it moves into Marshall County. So Vermilion, Centralia, Frankfort, you may have to deal with this one, but that storm has a long history of producing large hail. The storms to the south, this southeast Osage and Coffee, going until 10 o'clock, significant weather advisory. They are mentioning the winds are up to 55 miles per hour for that storm. So 58 miles per hour is when you get to a severe storm warning. So this storm to the south that's getting into Coffee County and Osage County, this is just right on the edge of a severe storm warning, just out of the county as you get down into Elk, Greenwood, and Wilson and Woodson. You've got nickel-sized hail and a mention of winds to 70 miles per hour possible. So for Coffee County and even southern Lyon County, heads up, you could be dealing with very powerful winds. Right now, that the warning for the worst stuff there is 70 miles per hour, and the mentioning that being Greenwood and Woodson counties. So that area near Toronto, Quincy, looks probably to be the area of those very strong winds. We got to watch that to see if it gets into parts of Coffee County or Lyon County. It certainly could, but right now it's not a tornado warning. All right, tornado watch for Kansas City until 4 o'clock in the morning has been issued. So that was added on at some point here because they did not have a tornado watch. Now we new confirmed tornadoes down in Oklahoma. So let's see what they're doing with this. But the National Weather Service adding the KC Metro over to Missouri until 4 a.m. So let's break through the graphics here again. There we go. Tonight, tornado watch goes until 11. Go ahead.
I got the graph over here, but
That's the graph. What does it do? Just roll it forward for me. I want to see what it does.
yeah, I don't know if it initialized the best, but
It just keeps everything going east-northeast.
pretty
Okay.
much.
All right,
Had
good.
A little bit of some back building into Topeka, but
All right.
that's about it.
All right, so the tornado watch, and I'm going to hit play on this, and I'll get you back to the tornado watch so I can show you what areas are actually in this watch now. And there is the Emporia camera. You can see we have the winds are getting stronger there in Emporia now. It's not a severe storm level, but it's certainly a strong storm. We have dew points still in the upper 60s for Topeka, Kansas City, Chanute, and dew points drop off to the 50s from Manhattan to the west. Tornado watch goes to 11 o'clock. For really all of northeast Kansas. Over in Kansas City, let's back that up. This area did not have a tornado watch earlier. They have added this over in Kansas City, over into Missouri. So I'm going to check out the details on that and see what they had to say. But the tornado watch over in the Missouri side goes till 4 o'clock in the morning. And so they dropped this thing a little while ago, but again, it's potentially tornado watch until 4 o'clock in the morning, and that's on the Missouri side. It's from Kansas City all the way over into the middle of Missouri at this point. I'll zoom it out, and you can see how far it goes. And again, that doesn't mean our watch goes longer. We'll have to see if they would extend it, maybe. But that tornado watch goes all the way up into Iowa, almost to Columbia, Missouri. And then folks down in Oklahoma still in tornado watch as well. But our tornado watch continues all the way over to Concordia. And, I wouldn't be surprised if they dropped Concordia and or Clay Center from the watch earlier than 11. But, there's no reason they have to, and maybe they're concerned about this additional back building down here just south of Salina. What I'm concerned about that I'm watching closely is this stuff down here. We still have tornado warnings here along the Kansas-Oklahoma border or state line, and this, I believe, is confirmed tornado. Yeah, it is. So I'm going to check that one out. But I'm concerned about seeing that energy if it gets up here and starts to bother us. Maybe it won't, but you can see a very well-defined hook, and that guy right there near the town of Winona, that's Oklahoma. So that's a considerable observed tornado. And the velocity, it's going toward Bartlesville, is in the path. Whoa, look at that thing. Yeah, that's nasty. Heading toward Barnsdall, Oklahoma, and Bartlesville are going to be in the path of that. So this is part of that high risk that's starting to show itself now. That's a very nasty tornado. We can just hope that does not hit a town or hit anybody's home. That is extremely dangerous from looking at the radar on there. So, and there is debris showing up very obviously on the radar there as well. So that's an extremely dangerous tornado. That's an observed tornado in Osage County, Oklahoma. That's not in the WIBW viewing area, but I'm just kind of watching that to see if anything starts drifting up here in our direction. All right, so we still have 13 News at 10 coming up, of course. We'll continue with the live stream on WIBW.com. If you're watching us on my TV, because we're live streaming severe weather, we went ahead and covered up the we covered up my 9 o'clock news is what we're doing. So I'd be on here anyway. It just makes sense to keep it going instead of stopping to do the newscast over there on my TV. So we're just going to keep our coverage going here all the way through the 10 o'clock show. I'm not sure if during the 10 o'clock show, it's possible you have tornado warnings then, but right now the tornado warnings have stayed out the WIBW viewing region for a while. But I'm concerned about seeing if this rotation that's along the Oklahoma state line starts getting up closer to maybe Lyon and Coffee counties. Right now, it's still a long way to the south. There's a warning going until 9:45 for Osage County. That's Oklahoma, though. That's farther down. That's not a tornado warning in Osage County. So please don't. That's not Osage County, Kansas, the tornado warning. Please don't think that. So Chautauqua and Elk County have the tornado warning down there along the Oklahoma and Kansas state line. On the velocity, we'll probably be able to pick this one out. There it is. That's the tornado warning right there. That's the rotation on that, making its way north. But there are other areas of rotation in these storms farther to the north. And what concerns me is if we start getting warnings that are embedded in the rain for any of these other things, that's something we have to be aware of, because I don't want to tell folks everything is okay and have you head to bed and all of a sudden we get a tornado warning for Coffee County, because on the storm velocity here, if you look at this rotation in Coffee County, that if they saw lowering on that, they could put a tornado warning on even that thing. So we're not done yet. All right, so let's see what we have coming up here. Been a lot of traffic in the chat tonight. All right. Severe storm warning for Anderson, Coffee, Franklin. So that's not a surprise. I thought they might do that. So there you go. We got Anderson County, Franklin, and Coffee. Coffee County is now in a severe storm warning. They're mentioning 70-mile-per-hour winds are a possibility. So Burlington, you could have winds to 70 miles per hour with this. Let me read the text on this. And the Weather Service saying here that at 9:23, located along the line from 3 miles southeast of Beto Junction to 5 miles south of Burlington, moving north at 55. So 3 miles southeast of Beto Junction to 5 miles south of Burlington. So, and moving to the northeast of north at 55. So the motion on it is north at 55 miles per hour. That's been a concern of mine. If these storms start going north, then we could have tornado warnings all over the WIBW viewing area, even late into the night if this stuff starts heading north. So we're looking from Beto Junction to south of Burlington. Check out the velocity here, and it's going north at 55 miles per hour, so highway speed. And you're looking at this. This is it right here, just south of Burlington, moving into Burlington in the next few minutes here. You've got winds that could be up to 70 miles per hour possible there in Burlington. Do we have a national break coming up soon, guys? What's about to finish? The break? Okay. Let me do it really fast. Put me on it. All right, quick update. We have 70-mile-per-hour winds getting close to Burlington now showing up on the radar. Severe storm warning includes Coffee County now, Franklin, Anderson as well. Burlington, these are winds to 70 miles per hour, moving north at 55 miles per hour. That could get into Osage County. It could get into Topeka or even Lawrence the next hour or so. But a very powerful storm with winds to 70 miles per hour near Burlington right now. 8-day forecast coming up on 13 News at 10. We're live streaming on WIBW.com, YouTube, as well as Facebook, and on my TV as well. Stay with us. Keep you safe and informed. Thank you.
So National Weather Service just put out a tweet and just mentioning the storms in the area being straight line winds being the hazard. They're not talking anything about tornadoes right now.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that there won't be, but it's not a priority that they're seeing as something that they're watching for.
Good. Well, we'll do 13 News at 10 unless there's tornado warnings. So do you need me to stop at like 9:45 so you can prepare for the show? Okay. So let's end at 9:45 to prepare for the show unless we have a tornado warning. You know, and I'd say 10% chance we have a tornado warning at that time. It's not zero, but it's not, you know, I'm not saying it's going to be. So most likely 9:45 is okay. So thanks. All right. So, you know, telling you folks here as well, kind of behind the scenes discussion there, but that's what I see. Is, you know, I would not be surprised if something that's rotating along this line gets a tornado warning, but, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't. Doug, do you want to take off since you have to be in like 5 hours?
Right, yeah. No, I was going to say that I may take off close to the 10 o'clock show or maybe even here shortly.
Because I'm not coming in the morning.
Right.
I mean, Daniel, all right, so. All right, so.
Daniel's got to cover for me but at the end of the week when I go out of town.
Gosh. Right.
So that's why I'm still okay, because I'll have a nice 4-day weekend coming up.
All right, you're strong. All right, so Burlington, winds to 70 miles per hour possible near Burlington right now. That's this line right here on radar. It's bright green, this dark shading right there. That wind going straight north at 55 miles per hour is what the Weather Service is mentioning, with 70 mile per hour winds a possibility in that. So if you're in that area, stay inside. It's not a tornado warning, but not far south of there are several tornado warnings, and that's what concerns me is if we get some of that energy and rotation up into here. So we're still seeing tornado warnings in areas where it's been raining. So just because it's raining, it's not stabilizing everything and making it all go away. We're still seeing tornado warnings back into the areas where the widespread rain is ongoing. So there are 3 different tornado warnings I see down there in northeast Oklahoma and southeast Kansas at this point. And that activity, again, if it starts, that warning for Coffee County says the storm's going north. If this stuff starts turning and going more north, then that's a problem. But overall, you can see most of this is going more to the northeast. So if we stay with this northeast motion, this is a problem for Lawrence over to Kansas City late into the night. We'll still see thunderstorms cross northeast Kansas, but if any of this starts to travel more north following the jet stream energy, you know, it could be a real late night. Fortunately, it looks like it's going to continue going more northeast instead of due north. Just not quite sold on it yet, not until I can see it get a little farther out of here. But again, Coffee County, that's a warning for 70 mile per hour winds, the possibility, and that storm is moving to the north at 55 miles per hour. So Osage County is in this as well. The western part of Franklin and Anderson counties are in that as well. And I'm going to put that into the crawl here as well. It goes in the bottom of the TV. Let people know what's up with that. So that text will run across the bottom of the TV for people watching us on 13.1. All right, if you're watching us in the live stream, thanks for staying with us. We don't have any tornado warnings right now, thankfully. We continue seeing severe storm warnings, and we're likely to continue seeing severe storm warnings for a while. I want to check out the camera in Emporia now and see how it looks over there. It's raining in Emporia. There's going to be a lot of lightning. It's not going to be, the wind doesn't look terrible there. And right now, Lyon County is not in any sort of warning at this point. So let's check out the camera there from Lyon County, from the Emporia cams provided by ValueNet Fiber. And this camera is awesome. It's 4K. If your TV's not I don't have it running 4K into our computer. I can view it that way, but I don't have it running 4K into our graphics computer we put on our own TV. But I can use it that way, which is just amazing. It has a windshield wiper and just all kinds of neat stuff. But that's the view of it, looking toward that severe storm that's over in Coffee County at this time. And the motion on that is north at 55 miles per hour. So seeing that just on the horizon there, it's not a threat of tornadoes at this point, but damaging winds of 70 miles per hour over there in Coffee County, and that's moving toward Osage County. The southeast part of Osage County also considered to be in that severe storm warning, but again, you can see all that lightning. I don't have a camera over there in Osage County. There are several KDOT cameras over there.
We got Cloud and Republic out of the tornado watch. Everyone else is still in it until 11.
Okay. So Doug's saying that Cloud and Republic are out of the tornado watch now. So that's you're going to be over here. We've got these counties removed from the tornado watch. Everybody else still goes to 11 o'clock. So that is behind even this last round of thunder showers. So as soon as they saw that was clear of there, they felt okay letting those counties go from the tornado watch. The tornado watch from Kansas City over to Missouri goes until 4 o'clock in the morning. So if you want to watch KCTV, our sister station over there, they'll be covering this until 4 a.m. I don't think we'll be going quite that long. So zooming in more closely on this is a confirmed tornado in Oklahoma. And I believe that's going to be a large tornado. Let's check the data here on this one. So from the National Weather Service, that is a confirmed tornado. And observed, considerable for Osage County, Oklahoma. So you see Osage, don't worry, that's not northeast Kansas. And the velocity here, this thing looked just super nasty a minute ago, and it still is. The town of Barnsdall, Oklahoma, is in the path of this. If you have friends or family in Barnsdall, Oklahoma, call them now and say, take shelter. I've never been there, but if you have friends or family there, they are in danger. Really, they're in danger right now, right there. Barnsdall, Oklahoma. If you have friends or family there, call them right now. Say, take shelter. This weather guy up here, you can say whatever you want to about me. Tell them take shelter right now. If you have friends or family there, they are about to get hit by a very big tornado in Barnsdall, Oklahoma. That is extremely dangerous. No kidding. If you have friends or family there, you call them right now. Let them know. Take shelter. And on debris, you can even see the debris coming toward town. That's a debris signature on the radar going toward Barnsdall, Oklahoma, Osage County, Oklahoma. That's not northeast Kansas, but again, I'm just kind of watching the energy down there and see what's up and see what might come our way. But that is definitely a tornado on the ground, throwing debris up into the sky right now down in Oklahoma. So we had several tornado warnings that were in place in southeast Kansas a few minutes ago. Those are gone now. They have expired, and there are no tornado warnings in Kansas right now with anything that's in this. This is extremely heavy rain. There's an 80-mile-per-hour wind with this one. And that's what the Weather Service, the risk areas show. The highest risk of seeing that would be there. And that's Allen, Wilson, and Woodson County. And they're saying 80-mile-per-hour winds with that. I'm not sure if Kansas City's radar on here or not. Probably this. That's going to be it. This stuff, that's it. So right here, you get one county south of Coffee County. This is your 80-mile-per-hour winds right there. And I'm going to see if I can find the text on that. But that's the kind of stuff that we're worried about seeing up here. And so far we have not seen any of these wild winds, thankfully. That's going to be the Wichita office, I think. So Wichita. I'm looking for the specific text on this. Chautauqua, or what's that? You know where Severity is? Where's Severity?
Severity?
It's Eureka. Eureka, Kansas. They say that Highway 99 near Severity is impassable right now. So that's the storm coming out of Greenwood County going to Wilson-Woodson. Look at this in the bigger monitor here. So they've probably got to, they say the highway is impassable there, and it's probably going to be because of, the power lines and or trees blowing down across the road. What I see there are a couple of waves of extreme wind. Now that I've kind of looked at the monitor, I see two different waves of extremely strong wind there. One is kind of going toward Burlington right now. This is from the Wichita radar. Here's a wave right there going straight north. The other one is this right here. This came across Greenwood County and is now getting into Woodson County. That's the one that has 80-mile-per-hour winds with it. So that's also moving to the north and could affect areas in southern Coffee County and Anderson County. That's 80-mile-per-hour winds. So that's going to be in Greenwood County. All right. So the warning there for 80-mile-per-hour winds, destructive storm, Buffalo and Yates Center, penny-sized hail, 80-mile-per-hour winds, and the motion on is northeast at 40. So Yates Center, that's going to be, I believe that's Woodson County, and the storm moving northeast at roughly 50 miles per hour. So that is very simple. It looks like it is stronger than the thing that came through Burlington just now. But Coffee County almost sure to have some wind damage out of this. Down to the south near Yates Center, that's where they're saying winds could still be 80 miles per hour to this as well. And again, these are just barely, that Woodson County is one county out of the WIBW viewing area, and it's that bright blue. This is from the Topeka radar. When I shift it to the left a little bit, it's going to pick up the Wichita radar, and you'll be able to see, and I'll probably go north, there we go. When I go to the Wichita radar, you can see this burst of the more powerful winds get into here, and the report was from Eureka, I believe, and it was Highway 99 was the problem. 99 goes into Emporia. See if I can find that. Is this going to be it? Yeah, there's 99. So report was that near Severity, I believe, they were saying that Highway 99 was impassable because of strong winds, blowing down things across the road, probably power lines.
I actually have a report here at Severity about flooding, not strong winds.
Is that what it is? That's impassable because of flooding?
It's flooding. Fall River had those strong winds, which is east of that.
Okay. So they have flooding and they have these wild winds. All right. So as Doug's saying, it looks like it's flooding that's causing 99 to be closed there in Greenwood County. And then we have winds at 80 miles per hour that moved out of Greenwood County into parts of Woodson and Wilson County. We have 70-mile-per-hour winds that are near Burlington, getting up toward Osage City now. The southeast part of Osage County is where that is. All right, so I'm still okay at 9:45 to break this off, guys, so you can prepare for the 10 o'clock show. And for those of you watching us, we're still kind of analyzing what's going on at this point. Coffee County, this is 70-mile-per-hour winds near New Strawn at this point. It's just passed by Burlington. These really strong 80-mile-per-hour winds that can cause a lot of damage. That stuff is down here, really close to Yates Center at this point. And as Doug pointed out, Doug corrected me that Highway 99 appears to be underwater there near Eureka and Severy, I believe. I thought Severy was farther out, but maybe this is where it is.
Severy is in the southern part of the county.
Southern part of Greenwood?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Eureka is more in the center part of it.
Thank you. All right, so 99 is underwater near Severy is what they were saying. So that was a few minutes ago. So, all right, so we have the extremely strong winds. That warning for Allen, Wilson, Woodson going until 10:30. Now for the rest of northeast Kansas, we had the tornado watch dropped for Republic and Cloud counties. We still have a severe storm warning until 10 o'clock right here for nickel-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's going to be in Marshall County. Let me get that specifically. Marshall
and Nemaha County, the severe thunderstorm warning will expire, and it will still be producing 40 to 45 mile-per-hour wind gusts.
And that's the same storm that produced the softball-size hail earlier near Milford, and then baseball-size hail near Riley, and even had hail the size of ping pong balls near Oldsburg, and now it is finally giving up some of its power as it goes toward Vermilion and Centralia. Still a severe storm warning, but again, it's not as strong as it was. So again, tornado watch continues until 11 o'clock for a lot of the area. The only counties we have right now under severe storm warnings The one that's in Marshall and Nemaha County, I really say that's done. But this thing to the south that's in Coffee County is the strongest thing we have in the WIBW viewing area right now. And that can still produce winds to 70 miles per hour, while the storm to the south of it is producing 80 mile per hour winds. So now they're down to 60, they're mentioning here in Coffee, Franklin, Anderson counties. So they're coming down a bit on this. And, all right. Let's see what we have from Topeka here. So Coffee County, 60 mile per hour winds is what we have now. We had a wind gust report of 60 miles per hour near Leroy at 9:29 p.m. and emergency management reported pea-sized hail in Coffee County and 40 to 50 mile per hour winds. That was a few minutes ago. That was in Neustron. So that's good news. All right. So we will see what the Weather Service says about their watch. We're going to keep this thing going. Now, the watch from Kansas City over to Missouri goes till 4 o'clock in the morning. But for the WIBW viewing area, this might be winding down. I'm not saying all clear just yet. Not until I see Doug Myers run at the door.
Well, I will. Yeah, I'll probably be leaving by the time the 10 o'clock show starts. But that does not mean the tornado threat is over with. And now we got some thunder here at the station.
We have thunder just as soon as I try to wrap it up. All right, we are going to let the live stream go here in a minute because our director and the folks behind the scenes have to get ready for our show starting at 10. We do not have any high-end warnings going right now. The highest threat warning we have is in Coffee County. We had a report of 50 mile per hour winds near Neustron and a report of 60 mile per hour winds near Leroy, and those are about 10 minutes ago. So the powerful storm we have is this thing that's in Coffee, Franklin, Anderson counties with a possibility of 60 mile per hour winds. So we'll have an update on 13 News at 10, but I want to let the live stream go here. If we have any tornado warnings we'll go live on TV immediately. If we were to have a tornado warning, it's going to be something down here, Coffee, maybe Lyon. I don't think it's going to be north of I-35 at this point. Not guaranteeing that, but if that's the area I'm suspicious to watch. That's because the energy in southeast Kansas has been producing tornadoes and 80 mile per hour winds. So I'm watching this stuff down here.
We're even starting to see some development on that line just west of McPherson, though.
Yeah, I know. And as Doug mentioned, there's development down here toward McPherson that's also going to become severe. So the tornado watch goes until 11 o'clock. This thing in Marshall County is falling apart. But for now, we're going to end the live stream, prepare for the 10 o'clock news, and if it's still wild after 10 o'clock, then it will come back on for the live stream. So thanks for staying with us. We'll see you on 13 News at 10.